Rightio, we've already got 8 people in. Nice to see. So I'll just do a little intro, I guess, to the live. So it's nice to see everyone in here. This is our second panel that we've done. A bit manic today. Obviously, I've had some issues with this tank behind me, so that's why I'm in my girlfriend's today rather than in my own place. But we'll be talking about that today anyway. We'll be speaking about many different topics, and we've got some new faces on the live too. So let's crack on to it. Say hello, everybody.
How
Hi.
we doing, everybody?
Hello.
Nice to see. Whoa, 9 people already. Great stuff. So we've got some topics and things to talk about today anyways. So we'll start off with the easy one, and that is fish disease. So what before I get onto this anyway, what has been your say your worst fish disease story or horror story, should I say? We'll take turns and talking
Just
about
go
it.
We'll let Arnold go first. We'll go.
You can hear my clogs going around because I haven't really had anything.
Mm.
I haven't really had anything serious.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I've had is a bit of fin rot.
A bit is in the whole time you've been in the hobby, you haven't had any tank wipes because of disease at all, or no?
No,
Just fin rot?
yeah, just fin rot. I haven't had white. I haven't had white spot. I'll probably talk that up now. Yeah, I think that is.
How did you deal with fin rot then? Because I'm guessing the fin rot was maybe with the beta fish.
Yeah, it was betta fish. Yeah,
They're very prone to it, aren't they?
Well, the only thing I could do is just add some Indian almond leaves because betta fish don't like medication.
Okay.
So it's basically large water change, and then add some Indian almond leaves into the tank.
Okay. Well, that's a good natural approach to things like tannins and stuff like that. I know a lot of people tend to swear by having better beta fighter fish. It's you know what I'm on about, Jack. But yeah, a lot of people tend to have different approaches to treating fish or having any kind of diseases or whatever. So in the shop tour that I've got tomorrow, I met Sam in Maidenhead, Preston, and he was saying he never treats his fish with medication. He actually just power feeds them a lot of high quality food, and they tend to fight it off themselves, which is an interesting approach. I guess I've never thought of that before. I know some people feed live or frozen food that have garlic included in it, like it's been soaked in garlic, and then that's a good way of sweating out any kind of disease or anything like that. Same method that you do. Oh wow, that's interesting to see, Jack. Yeah, because I think unless it's I think precaution. I was speaking to Harry the other day. He's had disease, and the fish he's got, similar with myself, are quite expensive rare fish that you won't find anywhere. So you wouldn't really want to take the risk of having to let them fight it off by himself. You're like, nope, give them all the medication and treatment that you possibly can, because you don't want say 80-pound fish dropping dead because you decided that I'm going to just power feed my pleco rather than But anyone else got your horror stories anyway before we go off on another tangent?
So with mine, it's just pretty much the same. I've just had white spot, just things like that, really. Again, it was with the betas as well. Now, I was advised, small dosage of the aquarium salt and things like that. And seems to just cleared it up a treat.
Aquarium salt is one of them that a lot of people are 50-50 on. Myself, I've used it quite a few times now. I don't know, the results aren't super apparent. Nice to see Tommy in here, and nice to see Stefan in here as well. The results aren't super apparent. It isn't like one of them that when you put aquarium salt in overnight, it's gone. But I have noticed when using it, it does help. It isn't something that'll individually cure something, but it's like an additive that'll, maybe speed up the process a little quicker.
Yeah.
One of them things anyway. But yeah, I'll let Marie hop onto your disease, horror story, or any kind of fish disease that you've dealt with in the past.
Yeah, no fish problems. I had a shrimp with fungus, and my local fish shop put me in touch with Mark's Shrimp Tanks. I didn't know he
Yeah.
was Mark's Shrimp Tanks at the time. I just thought it was a guy called Mark, and he told me to treat with malachite green. So I was given this.
Yeah.
I put the shrimp in a jug, and the fungus actually came away from it when I treated it. I treated the whole tank as well.
Mhm.
But I didn't really know what I was doing, and I did too much of a water change on that jug, and it killed the shrimp instantly. But it was working, and I bought that shrimp. It was infected when I bought it, so luckily
Okay.
it didn't go on to anyone else. But I treated the whole tank. The whole tank was green for a week. That's interesting. But yeah, I haven't had any problems with my fish. I've only had fish for a few years, so just been lucky.
Yeah, I think shrimp are one of them. They're very, very sensitive. There's neocaridina and caridina, obviously, and caridina a lot more sensitive. And then you've got maybe the Amano shrimp as well, which are quite hard. You could throw a brick at them sometimes and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Other times they could just take the knock randomly. It's one of them. I think shrimp are just very delicate, aren't they? I've dealt with to like tie into what you said there with shrimp. I may as well even change the topic because I've got that there as a topic anyway. Shrimp. Basically, the shrimp I've got in my bowl at the minute. This is what I've actually been using aquarium salt on. There is a disease that shrimp can get, and it's like it's not a disease. It's actually a parasite. If you, I forgot the name off the top of my head.
Scutellaria, something like that.
Yes, Scutellaria, and they have.
Yeah,
You look up close, you see these little like
white
tendrils. Oh my god, it's so creepy looking at them.
Yeah. Yeah, I just had that, and I did do a salt dip.
Yeah.
On the ones I could catch, but I didn't catch all of them.
Yeah,
and I didn't want to treat the tank because it kills the plants. Apparently, if you put the salt in.
Yeah. So that's probably another reason why the plants in my tank haven't my shrimp bowl haven't been amazing. The bar the Monte Carlo for some reason. Which is again crazy. I'm able to grow Monte Carlo without fear to CO2 as an
but not limno.
Yeah, the Limnopholius sessiflora I managed to kill. A lot of people are still shocked by that.
I kill it as well.
How?
Yeah, no good with stem plants. I don't have any soil in my tank, so it's just sand and a few root tabs. So yeah, they don't do very well for me.
It's weird because before I got into like aquascaping or like knowing more about plants, I didn't really have much idea about like growing plants properly. I just kind of whacked them in and thought they'd do well. And the setups I had was just like a black sand, and that was it. And I just put the stem plants in, and they were all just exploding and growing like crazy.
Oh wow!
That's a thing that I guess can happen if you have a well-established setup. So, for example, if there's a lot of food and fish poop that's gone into the substrate, then that's automatically a fertilizer anyway. But when I guess if it's just a brand new setup, they're probably going to die because there's nothing eating.
I don't dose ferts anymore because of the shrimp. So.
That's another issue with the shrimp bowl. The only thing I could possibly think of now is maybe whacking root tabs in to try and grow anything that has a root system. Bar that, I'm like now considering maybe even breaking it down and putting a small like cube on the shelf. Because it's difficult to record.
It is. Yeah.
It's difficult to do lives on the bowl. It's difficult to know if anything's dead, and unless I'm like literally spinning the bowl round to look inside.
Yeah, mine's on a rotating, like I don't know what it is. It's like a board that you put cakes on or something. And so I
Oh,
Yes,
can,
the cake decoration.
something like that. But it's a wooden one. But yeah, I can spin it, which is quite
Oh,
good.
wow. That's thinking ahead.
Yeah, you
Because
can get it from they're on Amazon. They're really cheap.
Yeah,
I
they
might
are.
have to grab one because I was looking for a little
Yeah,
thing to put it on to
I'll
like
send
prop
you a
it
link.
up. I'll check the Discord later.
Yeah.
We'll go on to a next topic. I'm just having a little scroll through anyway. Actually, sorry, I completely went on a tangent. Yeah, Tank, there is disease behind me. I'll sum over that quickly because we've already spoke about it. I'll just show everyone because I'm not afraid to show when there is issues with me tanks. I'll get there. Settings, there you go. It's always nice to find out how to use the streaming app. Yeah, so at the minute we're fighting a fungus infection with the Bolivian oranges. No problem. Like I've never had any problems from the shop I've bought from before, so I think it's something that's developed in here. As you can see, there is a big white blotch on this orange Bolivian. They're all perfectly healthy still. They're eating perfectly fine, but of course I am treating with salt, water changes, lots of high quality food, and I've just had a delivery of treatment as well. So that's just a little update for everyone in the live anyway. Everyone in the panel already knows because I was just crying about it before we started. Oh, Jeff's gone. Oh, Jack's gone. See you later,
Yeah.
Jack.
Okay.
No, it's JT.
Rightio. So we'll get on to the topic here. Koi. So I thought I'd do a little koi topic with yourself, Shane, because you were saying to me, and of course, obviously, I have.
Yep.
You did send me the link right before this. I actually have seen your channel. I actually have seen you about. I think it's just I've got so confused because you've got two channels that my mind's been split, thinking you were two different people. So since we're still on we're coming off the topic of disease and stuff like that. It'd be nice to, like you were saying, and I told you, save it for the live. How you treat your koi when they've got issues with disease and stuff like that.
Well, the first thing we do is obviously some people will use either a clover oil or something like that to actually sedate the koi, depending on obviously depending on the size of it. If it's small, you can normally tend to keep hold of it while you're doing a scrape. So when I say doing a scrape, it's literally getting a non-embroidered card and just literally removing a little bit of the slime coat from the head down towards the tail. Because obviously if you go tail to head, you can pull scales or anything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing. But then obviously once that's done, if I can actually get into the box, here we go. And we go onto the microscope.
Yeah.
And then with that, obviously look through it, different magnifications, see what we find out, what we've got, whether it'll be gill fluke, skin fluke, costia, just things like that. There's a couple of other ones I'm not quite sure on their names. I don't want to butcher them. But yeah, each one has pretty much its own individual treatments. So if you've got like skin fluke and gill fluke, then you can go down the lines of adding LearnX Pro or something like that in there, which is dedicated just like, say, like with the tropical industry. You've got your certain brands that will do certain treatments for certain things.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing where obviously if it's costia, trick, and some of the other fungal ones, you can get that just using malachite green or malachite green and formalin. If you've just got like a redness or small ulcers, things like that, then obviously you can get away with putting them into a bowl that we normally it's normally like your measuring bowl if you wanted to measure them up at the end of the season to record on how they grow over the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then normally what we do is we'll put a certain amount of pond water in there to salt, and then just whack in 2 air stones, leave them for about 10 minutes, and then that'll be dose 1 done. And then over the next couple of days, you then repeat the process for, I think it's like 3 days.
Yeah. And
then you can tell after that whether it's, calms down, because obviously with the salt, it's also a de-stressor.
Yeah.
What I found. So it also not only helps treat them, but it keeps them calm.
Yeah.
So on that side, it's not too bad. But obviously, if you get costlier and you don't treat that too quick, I found out personally myself. We had a big outbreak. Didn't get on top of it in time because I was waiting for medication to turn up, and we must have lost about 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Obviously, they're only like that. They're not like Nancy or George in the main pond.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a 2-year-old in the main pond that is 54 cm.
Wow.
Yep.
Big chunk.
Yeah, she is a big chunk. Hopefully next year she'll breed.
Yeah, that'd be great to see, and hopefully you document that as well. I was gonna say as well, when I used to work in the shop that I worked at, they used to swear by using an actual pond treatment. It was like a methylene blue, but it was specifically designed for ponds. And what they tell us to do is literally get a cap full and go round the tanks in the shop instead, and dose a cap full rather than the usual dosage of all these other medications. And 99% of the time, it would clear everything. So it's one of them, like medications are such a, there's so many different medications, but sometimes there may just be one general medication that can solve the problem for quite a lot of different diseases, whether that's in koi or whether that's in a tropical fish or cold water fish. It's just one of them that we're all kind of ponds. As Rebecca's saying, with her very knowledgeable brain, pond concentration. Of course, it's a higher dosage, but it will get the job done. Of course, some fish you got to be careful with and sensitive to, which we were aware of as well. But yeah, that was a great little insight that you gave us there, and something that, again, when you brought it up, I straight away went, yeah, save it for the live, because you pulled out the microscope, and I was like, yeah, I'm not having you give me this amount of information without it being in front of an audience. So it was a good little insight for sure. I think a couple of people in there are already discussing amongst themselves about some of the things that you mentioned there as well. But we'll crack on back onto obviously we loop back out of koi then and into shrimp, and we'll go into shrimp and then obviously some more other fish as well. But I was just saying, I've only kept the Neocaridina variant before. I think Mia's coming in. You can come in.
Hi, Mia. Again.
Go on, just open the door. Yeah, I'll come round with a screwdriver and get you a new door handle. Yeah, no, the door handle's basically broke, so you have to keep dragging it up and down until it opens. So that's why it sounded like she was trying to break in. But yeah, what's called, so Neocaridina I've kept before. I've never actually asked Arnold if you've kept any shrimp before.
Yeah, I've got just cherry shrimp, Mano shrimp, and giant African fan shrimp.
Have you ever bred them for profit at all, or have you ever done any projects with shrimp, or?
All my cherry shrimp, they're all breeding like crazy.
Yeah.
My Amano shrimps, they've all got all the females have got eggs, and then I've got the giant African fan shrimp, which you only see occasionally when you put the food in.
Nice. Sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt you, Arnold. I just seen Graham's popped in as well.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Hello, Graham.
Sorry, carry on,
That's
Arnold.
all right. Yeah, I've got. I think I've got 8 giant African fan shrimp, all different colours: red, blue, and purple. I think they're similar to the ones you've got in your tank.
Yeah, I've got I've got 2. I've got like a slightly brown one and then like an orangey one. They're bamboo shrimp, and they are
Bamboo, yeah.
units.
Yeah.
The chunky ones.
Mm.
I definitely have kept African the giant African variant, but it was early in the hobby when Pets at Home were like, "Oh, here's 8 points for your tank, or so many points," and I was like, gave me no information. Went, yeah, it's good. It'll eat off the bottom. They only do that on a consistent basis if they can't feed from the column, and eventually they'll start because their main like way of like consuming is sitting on a piece of wood or rock and just going like this. And
Yeah.
getting all the little particles out of the water column. So yeah, it's it's a topic I think a lot of people would like to know of anyway, and know yourself, Marie. Obviously, your whole channel is named Pure and Shrimple, like your logo is a shrimp too. You've got quite a database in your brain about shrimp and stuff like that.
I haven't actually had them for very long though. It's
But you
it's a
learn
young
quick.
channel and it's a young colony. So I started this tank this side of Christmas.
Yeah.
And I've got the golden backs in there, and they've had 2 batches of babies. I had 2 females in there, 4 males, and they've had 2 batches each. So it's full of shrimp now, and they're just coming to a stage where I need to take them to the shop. I don't really want to part with them, but it's getting quite crowded in there. So yeah, I want them to keep going. I've got a colony of orange that aren't doing very well at all. So I'm going to break that tank down, start it again. And I've got some red ones in the coal bowl in the kitchen, which is just something to look at while I'm washing up. And then I've got Amanos in every tank, just a couple, because they're such workhorses. I like to have those. I did have a couple of bamboo shrimp from Pets at Home. They were doing great for a bit. They would sit on the wood in the flow and their little feathery feet, picking up all the bits and pieces. And I haven't seen them for a couple of months. They were in here. I don't know if I said before, it's a really low pH in there, and nothing seems to do that well, invertebrate wise, in that tank. So I don't put any more shrimp or snail in there.
The crazy thing is that in my tank that there's a decent flow, but I've never like I just said previously, a lot of the time the bamboo, if they're not eaten properly, they'll end up feeding off the bottom. And mine have been doing that since I've set up this tank in particular, and they're perfectly fine. So there must be a lot of food still like floating around for them, but they will go missing. The one of them, not the fairy nocturnal, especially the African vampires, like Arnold was saying. They tend to like to hide, and then maybe they're out. Maybe they're still in there. They're just coming out at night time, but you'll never find them until you lift everything out.
Possibly, but it's been such a long time. I'd be very surprised if they're in there.
Usually in a shrimp colony, if something decides to take the knock, they'll definitely make a good cleaning of whatever's gone missing.
Yeah, fish go missing in there. I very rarely see the bodies. They just get eaten.
Yeah, a lot of people tend to panic when they've got a well-established tank and then a fish dies and they don't find it. I used to be one of them people, but when you've got a lot of bottom feeders, which in my current setup, I've got coolie, loaches, shrimp, plecos and that as well, that they're all going to definitely clean up anything that goes missing. So One of the blueberry tetras, I didn't find. One of them I found dead floating. The other one was definitely some kind of a high quality meal for the rest of the tank.
Exactly. Yeah. Let nature take its course, I think. Unless there's something wrong with the fish.
Yeah.
Then I'll take it out.
Uh,
But otherwise, I'd leave it in there.
Yeah.
Well,
definitely.
for a day or so. If it's still there, a couple of days
Yeah.
later, take it out.
Usually, if there's something wrong with it, they don't tend to actually go near it, which I've found, which is, I guess,
Yeah.
a sign. It's a good little canary in the mine shaft kind of moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, with shrimp, I haven't been great at breeding them, I'll be honest. Until recent, I had a shrimp bowl for like a year. It didn't do well at all. However, I've set up tanks for my cousin, and he's a lot less hands-on with me. He'll just leave the tank, and he'll just leave the tank really and neglect it. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, that if you do that with shrimp, they love it. They'll absolutely thrive. The less hands-on with the tank, the more likely they'll breed, the more likely they'll thrive in the tank, because then they're not being disturbed, the parameters aren't changing often, they just can't. And then obviously with the tank being left to take it itself, algae and bacteria and all sorts will form, and they'll be eating off it and thriving off it. So with this current bowl setup, I set it up with AV-scape. Shout out to Aaron, by the way.
Okay.
Everyone, if you could show him a bit of love. He's having a bit of a busy period in his life at the moment. We set up that bowl a couple months ago, and I thought nothing was going to happen. I was going to give up on the bowl, to be honest, because I'd seen nothing, and I only had deaths actually happen in the tank. But as the weather picked up and the temperatures picked up, the population boomed. So the thing
Excellent.
is, shrimp can survive in lower temperatures, but they need the warmer temperature to be able to breed properly.
Yeah.
So that's what's encouraged the breeding behavior with them. What I say behavior, that's what's triggered the breeding. And I didn't see any of it. I just started to see these little tiny white things on the glass, and I was like, "What's that?" And then I noticed I've got an entire like colony just formed
Yeah.
overnight.
It's brilliant. There's nothing better than finding shrimplets in your tank that you didn't know were there.
Exactly,
always.
and I see Johnny being very happy about that, because Johnny loves his guppies and shrimp, and a lot of people in this chat love shrimp too. So it's
Yeah, I
definitely.
did see we got Glenn popped in as well.
Oh, nice to see Glenn in here. So I'll give everyone a quick shout out before we continue on.
Yep.
Glenn's in here. Nice to see Glenn. Jeff's been here since the beginning.
Yep.
Nice to see Stefan. Nice to see Rebecca. Nice to see Graham. I said hello earlier. Nice to see Rob as well. Johnny, shout out. You know that I'm very aware of you being in here, because you always come out with your fun comments.
How you
Johnny
doing, Matt?
likes talking about washing machines on a consistent basis.
No, it was nothing to do with washing machines this time.
No. And nice to see FM Aquascapes as well. I seen your little video. You've got a collab with AV, so shout out to yourself as well.
Yep, exactly.
Got a lot of people in here, and of course, obviously, just get the banners all the way. Massive congrats to Arnold as well for reaching his 700 club as well. Big man.
No,
How long did it take you to get from 600 to 700?
ooh, just I think it was a month. I think.
That's not bad at all, to be fair. You have been putting in the work in, Arnold, though. You're on everyone's lives.
Yep.
Yeah, I seem to be doing more lives than videos at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
It's actually a topic that I was going to pull up, YouTube content, but I'll let you let you carry on anyway. Like, what's your plans with like your content at the minute? Like your idea with the channel, what are you wanting to do?
I'm going to be scaping a couple of tanks soon. I'm just waiting for some decent aquarium plants. Let's put it that way. A lot of my LFS's aquarium plants. They look dry as anything, and they're probably almost dead, to be fair. And my LFS over the road from me, they sell terrarium plants as aquatic plants.
Huh.
So you go there, you buy them. Graham. She's got her own channel now, so it's not going to be on my channel anymore.
She's going to be YouTube famous, mate.
She is. But yeah, it's just crazy. I'm just trying to look for some plants that can withstand a temperature of 31 degrees. So I know someone that can sell you some, Arnold. Is it yourself, Graham?
No, I think that was a little sly, sneaky one.
A sneaky plug for his website. Hey,
Yeah.
Graham, Harry, he's not in the chat. Chloe is your biggest fan. He's bought a massive load of plants from yourself recently. So I'm sure you're very aware that you've probably sent him a big shipment of plants. I need to probably check out when you get a restock your website too, Graham. But are you going to be documenting all that anyway, Arnold? Like the aquascaping and that, the setup, or are you going to set it up and then record it?
I might do it. I might document it because I think it's going to be a nice one to do because it's from a discus pair.
Yeah.
So and fingers crossed they'll breed in there as well.
Oh, brilliant!
So that's what I want.
I think a good video for yourself, Arnold, could even be if you haven't already, a video on, you know, when you do a sale on one of your fighter fish. I'm gonna say fighter because everyone will butcher me in the chat for pronouncing beta or beta.
That's right, Jack. That's right, Jack's gone now.
Yeah. He left because he went on strike because I pronounced beta fish or beta fish wrong. Beta, whatever you want to call it.
That was very American. That was.
Yeah, Jeff's proud of that one. But yeah, better. But yeah, I think a good video for yourself maybe it'd be like documenting, you know, bagging up a fish and preparing it, you know, for it being sent off in the post or something like that. I think the next time you do a fish sale, that would be like a really good video. I know Jeff I think he's discussed it. I'm not sure. He may have done a video on sending out fish. I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe he did with the black mollies.
Yeah, it was in the back of my head. I think I did catch that. But I think if you've done something along the lines as well, where you're sending out your beta fish to people, it'd be a really good educational video for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Anyone else? Well, I'll ask yourself, Marie. We'll go that way round, or maybe we'll whatever way round. Yeah, Arnold, Marie, Shane, Marie, Arnold, myself. Some Americans. Yeah, I thought they were called Japanese fighting fish. That's what my customers tell me.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Isn't it also Siamese fighting fish as well?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
And then I thought, am I thinking of algae eaters?
Yeah, Siamese fighting fish.
Yeah.
I've had platies. But yeah, Marie, what's your upcoming? I know that you've been live here, there, everywhere recently. A bit like Arnold, the lady of the moment.
Every time I've been on a live, it's been Shane and Arnold with me, and then one other person or two other people.
So I got the band back together for this one, did I?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so I did. I did one a week ago, and I was absolutely terrified, and it was fine. Everyone was really nice, and yeah, I've done a couple on my own channel. You can't see my face, but I'm just talking, and it's just really nice. Loads and loads of people hop in for a chat, and I really like connecting all those people together. They might not have come across each other if I found them in different lives, and I go to a lot of live streams of other people and just try and make a load of friends, really. And yeah, it's really nice. You get to know everyone's real name as
Yeah.
opposed to their channel name, and everyone hops on, and you can say hi such and such, hi such and such, and just get to know everyone and go onto their channels and see what they're doing, and it's all over the world, and any
It
time
is.
of day or night. It's keeping me up at night because I'm on lives at like 2, 3 in the morning. I've barely
Arnold
slept this
knows
week.
fully well
Um,
about that.
5
Yep.
o'clock is the latest I went to bed, just
Wow.
chatting to people, and yeah, I felt pretty bad the next day. So I can't keep that up, but I'm spending so much more time on the lives than I am on my own channel, so that's probably not a good thing. I haven't
It's a
made a lot
thing
of
that
content this week.
it's good to get networking going through the lives anyway, and then being able to know
Yeah,
everyone, as I said, on a name basis too. But it's one of them that you've got to balance out, and I've had to
mm,
restrict myself to 1 or 2 a week because I was doing early days. I'd go live at 9 o'clock at night. I'd go at three in the morning, or
oh wow,
I'd be all over the place. And I was doing guest appearances here, there, everywhere. But I've calmed down as of recent because I am being pulled in every direction at the minute. But
yeah.
I was gonna ask you, like, whilst you've got the solo stage, what your plans are, like, content wise, as you were saying, you're wanting to get some more videos out.
Yeah, I've got quite a few ideas. I won't share with you yet because they're just sort of ideas. I've got to Tiger sending me a heater thanks to Arnold. So I'm going
The
to do an
plug himself.
unboxing. Yeah, I'm going to do an unboxing on that one and a bit of a review. I'm hoping that I can go to some of the local shops and film there. I know
Yeah.
my local one is similar name to yours. It's something fishy, not something fishy.
Something fishy. Wow. Okay.
Something fishy. I know he's not mad keen on people filming, so I was going to say I'll film it and send it to him, and he can say yes or no. Just be
Yeah.
nice to film some fish that I don't own instead of trying to own one of every fish,
Yeah. That's a
which I
difficulty.
think we're doing at the moment. Yeah, I'm running out of space for all the fish that I want to have. I've got a couple more tanks to do. I'm doing a couple of collabs, maybe with Shane and FM Aquascapes, and I are going to have a bit of a scape off. I think we're doing a bonsai tree scape in a nano tank. I've just been given a 3-foot tank. It's not huge, but I want to scape that one. Put my cories across, which are in here. I've got 6 gold lasers.
Yeah.
Really want them to breed because they cost money that I didn't have at the time when I bought them. I told myself it was an investment, so would be nice if they bred. I've got hill streams and white cloud mountain minnows in the cold water tub.
Yes.
Really want them to breed. And I want to get another couple of shrimp colonies going, maybe a blue one. I don't think I'm going to do Caradina this year. I did them once by mistake before I knew they were a thing. I bought some crystals just because I thought they looked pretty. And
Yeah.
they did all right in tap water for a while. They did have babies, and then they eventually didn't make it. I didn't know what I was doing, so and it's not ideal to keep them in tap water from what the experts are saying. So I
Yeah.
have thought about giving that a try as a sort of project because everybody around this way in Devon all the shops keep their Caradinas in tap water. They sell them out of tap water because we have soft water here.
Yeah.
But I've still been told by people in the know they won't thrive. They might survive. I know some people will disagree. Jack in the Netherlands, he breeds his in tap water. So
Yeah.
he
So does
would disagree.
So does the fish keeping Ginge, Harry. He's as I was telling you before we started
Yeah,
live, he's been buying a lot of Caradina recently, and they have been thriving and breeding in freshwater,
in tap water, yeah.
normal tap water. So it's
Yeah,
it's
it's
one
a
of
tricky
them. You
one.
hear so many opinions with fish keeping over the internet and from so many different people. I think fish keeping's one of them that it's all down to your personal preference, and if it works for you, then there's no point stressing out about what other people are saying. If it's already working, don't fix it.
Yeah, it's difficult to know. I mean, down here they're about £12 each, so
Oh,
you know, I don't want to take any chances. The shop told me it'd be better if I ordered about 20, and I said, well, I don't really have 240 quid to spend on insects, so
yeah.
maybe I
Yeah.
was
Wow.
thinking like maybe 4.
Yeah.
Maybe when Harry gets his colony going, he might send you some.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know someone has got a talk coming up on Carradine for beginners. I think it might be Glenn. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
I've got notifications coming out on that, so I'm looking out for that one. I'm going to look forward to it. But I know
Yeah.
it's going to be very RO water heavy, and all about your water changes and the minerals and whatnot. I don't know that I would have time to do it justice, so I'm going to leave it for this year and just try and get the Neos off the ground.
Yeah.
Maybe make a bit of money with them and then reinvest. It's meant to be a shrimp channel, so it's somewhere I need to go at some point.
Yeah. You're gonna have to take that leap eventually.
But it's meant to be sort of relatable, really. It's just learning as I go. I'm not an expert. I don't really know a lot about anything. Just experimenting and having a lot of fun.
Yeah. Rightio. That was a great little sum up of what you've got planned
Waffling
anyway.
I told you I could talk.
Well, it's better that you can talk than you can't talk. But we'll move on to Shane now and give you the little solo stage on what your upcoming plans are with content and for both your channels.
Well, at the moment, obviously with the Koi channel, it's just a case of just keeping on top of the filter cleans, things like that. That's all over the place. So there's not so much of that. Obviously, we're going to have some store tours coming up. And so it'll be whether they'll be Koi related. If they've got Koi there, I'll try and get a little section recorded that I can then transfer over onto the Koi channel. So ideally, when I try and go to somewhere, I try and see if I can find a bit of both content. So I'm filming a little 15-minute over in the Koi section, looking at what dry goods they've got, their stock, just a general.
Yeah.
And then obviously then after that, then go into the actual fish room and I'll be looking at more of that kind of side of things. So in a way, I kind of can kind of film two or three different types of video content just from one place. So I like to try and get the max out of every visit.
Yeah.
So there's always something in there that you can do. Hence why tanks and fish, because at some point, if there's like a new style of tank out that I've not seen before, I'll go and film a little snippet of that. And then if someone's, watching it later on down the line when it's included in the tropical video, they're like, oh yeah, that's a so-and-so tank. I've used one. They actually come out pretty good.
Yeah.
One I've seen at the moment is, obviously you got your normal tanks with your square corners, like on the sides. But I've seen a lot of tanks now where they're coming out with the actual, even though the front's flat, the corners are actually curved.
Ah.
So I want to actually see if I can actually find any of those to actually have a more actual look at it to see how it is before I think about how I'm going to go. Yeah. So something like that, whether I'm going to use one of them for like a nanoscape style, fully planted, just because you've got them extra corners. So from a different angle, you'll get a different view.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that kind of thing. That's kind of in the background being worked on, pages and pages of notes, just getting everything sorted. Because I always like to try and do as much research as I can before I go anywhere, so I know where places are, times, contact them. I've got to give them at least a week, I say, if not 2 weeks. Like just in case, like say you phone up a store and they're like, well, I think it will be okay, but it's best to email the owners.
Yeah.
So I've had a couple of stores where I'm going that have turned around and said, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine, but you might want to email the owners. If not, the owners are only off on this day.
Yeah, and it clashes with schedule and stuff.
And then
yeah.
you try and work out around them that you can get there on the day that they are there. So you can actually speak to them in the morning, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, they turn around and give you the okay, and you can go to the vehicle and pull out the gimbal, and away you go.
Yeah, I find it difficult. Well, I've been quite lucky that I think pretty much all the shops in my area have allowed me to film, which is good. I think it helps that I've been a regular for so long as well.
Yeah.
That they've allowed that to happen. I know that Arnold, we spoke about it, that you've had issues with your LFS not allowing you to film, which again, considering that you've been there like as a customer for a long time, is kind of baffling. But I guess, you know, some places are a lot easier to beg for forgiveness than for permission. Yeah, I think a lot of the places have allowed me to. I think they prefer like a heads up. Obviously, I don't want to show up on a bad day and then go, "Hi, I'm going to record." And I think I have in a couple of them. But like a lot of the time, I've gave them a preempt that I'm coming, or I've asked in advance. There is one shop that I have been asking repeatedly, and they keep telling me we're upgrading the tanks, and it has been months. I don't know whether they'll let me ever film, or the tanks have just been getting upgraded for that long. I don't know. I won't throw any names out because I probably will eventually get round to doing that. But yeah, it's one of them. I've only been asked once to do a shop tour by a shop. And that's coming out tomorrow, actually, Maidenhead Preston. They asked me to come, which is a difference from me asking, so that was really nice. But yeah, I think you know, I've shown up to the last shop tour I done was Pierre, and I really enjoyed that. But I felt like I can't help but feel like I caught them off guard because they wasn't expecting it, although I did give them the
Yeah.
pre-warning. So again, you don't know who you're talking to, whether they'll pass the message on or not. They were completely fine. They told me things that I wasn't allowed to do, and I always respect that anyway.
Yes.
I always make sure as well when I'm doing a shop tour that I'm not trying to bury the shop. So, you know, I think a lot. I was arguing this with someone on TikTok actually. Not arguing it, but I was like telling them from a person who's worked in a shop standpoint. You can go into a shop, and this is the thing that Preston was completely fine with when I went there, Maidenhead Preston. They said if there's dead bodies, it's fine. Which for the first time in all the shop visits I've done, that I've been told that.
Wow.
But they are completely transparent, and I think that they expect the more advanced fish keepers to go, oh, it's not an awful shop if there's dead bodies in there, because that's the thing. You'll go to shops, there will be dead fish.
Always.
It's going to happen. It could be the best shop in the world, and there could still be dead bodies. The difference is if the shop are willing to go around and scoop all the dead fish before you get your camera out. But the non long term fish keeper will think when they go in a shop that it's an awful shop if they see dead bodies everywhere. But there's no point hiding it, as Mal's just said there.
Yeah.
That, you know, you'll go in a shop, there's thousands of fish, and maintaining every single tank, fish can come in ill. They can get ill in the tank. Another fish could attack that fish. There's so many different things that you know, it's hard to keep on top of. The bigger the shop as well, the more difficult it becomes. So there was a comment on the peer video, people saying, "Oh, why is this going on? Why is that?" Well, how many tanks are in there?
Yeah.
I've got ADHD. Trying to record that was a nightmare because I'm like this, looking everywhere. So imagine working in this shop and trying to focus on every individual tank.
Mm.
Of course, they probably are used to it, but like there may be one bad tank out of hundreds, and then that's what everyone will focus on, and that's a thing that I think a stigma that people do need to like realize that you can't just write a shop off because there's a couple of dead fish. Now, obviously, the more you're an avid customer and the more often that you're in there, the more chance that you'll be able to see if the fish constantly unwell or if they're
Mm.
treating them and they're getting better. And if you're in there as a customer all the time, you'll be able to get that. Obviously, you're not there all the time, so you won't be able to see everything. But if you're consistently there as the consumer, as the customer, you'll get a feel for what shop is and what shop isn't great.
Yeah.
Or who does this like treating, or who does this when there's a shipment. Will a shop sell fish straight away? A lot of the shops that I buy from don't actually do that. I'm not sure about yous.
I've had places where I've been there, and they've just turned around and said, if there is any in here, like one, just let us know.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's going to happen anyway. But like you say, someone who's experienced in the hobby will go in there and go, yeah, that's dead, but it's not missing its eyes. It's not got this issue with it. So we can see all the other symptoms that would, you'll be able to tell pretty much how it died.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say, it could just be the fact of when they've come in on the shipment, they've come in where the water's been delayed or something like that. So the temperatures have dropped. And then obviously once they've been acclimated, they're still coming up to that temperature that they want to quarantine them in and put their treatments in. It can then obviously, the illness itself can still be dormant in there from the day it got there to 5 days down the line when it actually breaks out.
It's a bit similar to like white spot, isn't it? White spot is always laying dormant in pretty much all fish, so it could just all the slightest thing could happen and it'll just kick off. So it's one of them that, again, I think a lot of people need to realize you will the longer in the hobby, the more chance you'll probably pick up on problems, or you'll figure out, this happens, and then you'll have more understanding, because I think that's a thing for beginners as well. When there's a lot of people like getting into the hobby, people get disheartened early on. Like I almost was early on. I'm pretty sure everyone's had a moment early on where you've went, oh, this isn't for me. When you've had like maybe a wipeout or fish has died and you went, oh, it's my fault. Like you take too much responsibility. The live animals, at the end of the day, anything could happen, and sometimes you just don't have an answer for it.
Yep. Absolutely.
See you later, Graham.
I was really lucky when I set up my tank, because my local fish shop, the guy was so helpful. He tested my water for me every week because I didn't have a test kit.
Yeah.
So every week I took him a sample of the water. I took him loads the first time, like about 2 pints of it. And he said, I just need a little bit. So he tested it for me every week, and he'd say, no fish yet, come back next week. And then one day I went in and he said, oh, I can give you some fish today. And I was so excited. And then I had the plants and whatnot in there. And then he gave me 4 cherry barbs, sold me. And he said, just have these 4 for now. Come back next week. We get a few more. And I got some tetras the following week. And he told me what to feed and whatnot. And so, and then I found MD fish tanks, like most people, on YouTube. And I just binge watched all of that, really. And ended up with 6 tanks, which isn't too bad compared to you lot.
Yeah, I mean, I've only got 2 in a bowl, so I can't really talk. But I've
I
had
did
many rescapes and stuff like that where I'll get bored after a while and be like, right, now change this round. I've gotten a lot less. Like I've done that a lot less the longer I've been in the hobby, because I like to watch a tank like play out. Like I'll set it up,
Sure.
and I like to watch the longevity of it,
Exactly.
and watch how it evolves. If there's breeding, if the plants grow, if plants die, if like wood. Like I like setting up my aquascapes as like something that can eventually fall apart. So the current scape in my tank, I've got it set up to, it's not glued together, so all the wood's just kind of laid on itself. Eventually, it may give way, and then there'll be pieces of wood laying around, stuff like that. But like that just gives it all the more natural appeal to me. And I really enjoy the natural like kind of approach to things at the moment. Because I do love aquascaping and love the visual of it, but the amount of effort and work that goes into making one tank pristine, and then at the
Mhm.
same time when you're setting up these aquascape tanks, a lot of the time they're not ideal for the fish, and maybe it limits what fish you can put in the tank too. So like I'll start with myself and we'll go around with the topic that I've put there anyway. My advice to new beginners is like do your research, but also don't be like so bang on with it. Like you're going to make mistakes. You're going to figure out what works and what doesn't. With my, like as I was saying, with my setups, I like letting it naturally play out, and I like it being visually appealing, like an aquascape would, but would. And it like deteriorating and becoming like a really good environment for the fish, but also having that whole aquascape approach with the plants being like short in the middle and the front, and then the whole like layout and stuff like that. But I think like my biggest advice to anyone new into the hobby is just do your research. I think one thing as well, like if you a lot of new hobbyists walk in a shop, they'll see a fish and go, "I'll want that one." Some shops will just sell it to them, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, take it." And then they'll go home and that new fish they've added in will kill everything in the tank. The one thing I've always done, I'm not sure if many people do, but if you go in the shop and you see something you like, it's modern day. Just pull out your phone and type in what parameters, what tank mates, is it a community fish, is it aggressive? You literally, when you search a fish's name there is a breakdown on Google, and it tells you the size, it tells you the parameters, it tells you how warm the water needs to be. It's that easy. So I think that's my my little bit of advice to anyone. Yeah, and as William has just said there as well, that's a great one. Don't stress, take your time, let them grow, mature, whatnot. Mel as well has also said, man would be the biggest tank you possibly can get because you regret the small one. I'd say that, but I think a lot of beginners start because they just want to start, and they'll start with something small and easy, and they think it's easy. But I think as Mel, I keep getting it all over the place. Mal. Queer delirium. He's very much right in what he's saying there, because I think the bigger the tank, the more the impulsive I want more fish, you can put more fish in. And then as well, because it's a bigger tank, you don't have to do as much maintenance. Of course, you have to do maintenance on all tanks. You can't not, unless you're making a specific setup, but I think beginners aren't. It's just easier to maintain. When something goes wrong in a small tank, it's the end of the world, because the parameters will just flip and then you could have a wipeout. The bigger the tank, it's a bit more forgiving, and the filter may be bigger with that bigger tank, so maybe we'll be able to handle it more, and you're able to control it a bit more too.
Yeah, and then as Mal put there, to answer his own question, bigger tanks sell for more on Facebook if you give up.
Yes, that's a good one as well, to be fair. But we'll reverse the clock this time, because we've been going around myself, Arnold. Right, if I point down works. Because I think it's reversed, isn't it? So if I do this,
what you have to do with that is you go into your setting when you go into it at the start before you go live.
Yeah.
If you go into your settings and go down into camera, there's an actual button that says click for mirror. And then when you point left, it goes left. And when you point right, it goes right.
Oh, wow. Hang on.
Oh,
Mirror
So you'll
my
have to-
camera. There you go. Wow. Okay. Look. Arnold. There you go. Yes.
no,
No,
that's not right.
that's your wall.
That's not right.
That's
Other
Arnold.
way.
No, but you know what?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
At least now, I don't need stress anymore. Arnold is here. Maria's here. Shane is here. Right. Sound.
Not on mine. No.
We'll let Shane start and then go to Marie, then Arnold. I've already spoke my waffle.
Yeah.
Right, Shane, what is your advice to new beginners in the hobby?
Well, as I say, as the chat said, number one is do not stress. You're gonna more than likely you're gonna lose something at some point.
Yeah.
You know, that's one key. Second thing that I would turn around and say, know your space before you look at getting your tank. So what I mean by know your space is, do you have natural where you want the tank to go? Have you got more natural sunlight coming in because you're near a window, or are you going to need more lightage? That kind of scenario. So you've always got to take that into consideration. So you've got natural light against the artificial light, but then whether you want planted or if you're just going to go down the line of driftwood or rock, you know, again, depending on what fish you want, then goes down the line on how you can decorate as well, because some fish, the light the better, you don't want a lot of rocks in there that have got jagged edges.
Yeah.
Because you don't want them to literally swim up it and literally catch themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you've got something like you want to do, like a Hillstream Loach, again, you want them rocks kind of nice and smooth so that the Hillstream can actually suck onto it better. So it's pretty much, as I say on my Koi channel, research is key. And no matter what part of the hobby you're in, that's still going to be pretty much number one. But also do your research and find a good test kit.
Yes.
You know, for me, personally, that's one of the first things you buy pretty much the same day as you buy like a starter tank. If you're starting out, you get your tank and you get yourself a water test kit. Because 9 times out of 10, when you're buying these little starter cubes or whatever tank, you're going to have your heaters with it. You're going to have a filter with it. It's going to come with a light. So that part of it is all done. You know, you're going to pick up whatever substrate you want to take. But then just adding that additional of actually having your own test kit and then researching again and learning how to use that test kit correctly. You know, you're not squeezing that bottle too hard and what you think's only 1 drop, you're actually putting like 3 in.
Yeah.
So there's always, you know, take your time with it. Don't rush. Don't think, you know, oh, I've had the tank up for 2 weeks. All the bubbles have gone off the side of it from where it's been a new tank. It's ready. But as we know, it's not.
No.
So
Some
yeah,
great
definitely on that one.
Some great points there, Shane, for sure. I think, like as you said, I think even Marie said having that back and forth with your shop, whatever shop you are beginning with, because I think a lot of beginners tend to latch onto a shop first, like whatever they first walk in, they get the tank, they get the fish from, that'll be their first place that they'll latch onto. I think it's always good to have that back and forth, have your tests, get your advice, listen to what they're saying, because it's their job, they know what they're on about.
Yeah,
90% of the time.
I was going to say there is always the
always.
odd occasional employee.
Yeah. If you're on an off day and some madman walks in and decides to put the uniform on in the shop, that
not even that. Someone who's normally used to working in the dog food aisle and cat treats, and someone from fish phones in sick, and they've got to go and take over that section, and they're just like, I haven't been here before.
Mhm.
There's no me the ones you get.
I've had the funny thing is that this is a controversial one, or not even controversial. A lot of people slate pets at home, and I will also from time to time do that. But my actual like the now looking back, being 5 years, almost 6 years deep in the hobby, um, the advice I got from my pets at home was really good. It wasn't bang on, but for someone starting up, it was actually really good. They would not let me set up on day one,
Right.
which straight away is great. They did tell me to set up a week and a half, which I think in the cycle isn't great, but they didn't allow me to get everything. They said I'm allowed 3 fish, 3 cardinal tetra, they said, which again isn't that bad. It's like a fishing cycle, isn't it? I think MD Fish
Mhm.
Tanks does it a lot, a fishing cycle where you'll set up a tank with fish, and obviously you've got to stay on top of your maintenance. But obviously, as a result, if you're a beginner, that's basically sacrificing some fish to get the cycle started, which is inevitably what kind of happened. But they gave me the right advice. Now, this is the issue with places like Pets at Home. I think the issue is that it's a game of Chinese whispers. Whoever it's either been passed on from the person run the shop, or a lot of them read a booklet or they do a course, and then it's given like a bit of information. So everyone in the shop, even if there's like a dedicated fish keeper, they could be working in the dog aisle, and like you said, they could be in elsewhere.
Yeah.
And it's what they've been told to do. So I remember I was having an argument saying that a nearite snail wouldn't get eaten by a coolie loach, but because someone up or back in the day when they first started said loaches don't go with snails, they eat them. They refused the sale, which was annoying.
Yeah.
And I went back the day after when that person went in and just didn't say I had a loach that time. But it's one of them. They'll hold you and at gunpoint sometimes and say and refuse you
Yeah.
or interrogate you, and it's not the way about it. I think
I don't
there's
like
good
it.
there's good intentions, but it's just not executed right at all.
Yeah.
No.
Which is why a lot of us hobbyists tend to go for the Maidenhead or the LFS. But yeah, I'll before I continue my tangent anyway, I'll let Marie talk. So what is your advice from your experience in hobby to beginners?
Well, like I said, I was really lucky because my LFS, he was very much holding my hand, but that's not actually where I bought my tank. I bought it from a local Maidenhead, which is no longer open. And they were all over me that day because I spent over £100 on my tank and some sand and some hardscape and a couple of plants. And then I went back the following week, and he didn't really want to know. He didn't remember that I'd been in and spent an hour talking to him. He didn't really want to engage at all. So that was really disappointing. Then I found the other shop, and he was far more helpful. I would say, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but if you are that way inclined, I'd say just get as many plants in as you can and set it up as an underwater garden. And then when
Yeah.
it's going well, the fish are like an extra bit. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. Some people just like the fish. But I look back at my tank when I set it up, it had one sword in the corner, one moss ball, and a crypt or something. Didn't have any floating plants, which I think would have helped. Yeah, not a lot going on in the tank, not a lot of space for beneficial bacteria to get going. But it had a sump, my first tank, this one. So that was something else to sort of learn about, keeping it topped up and whatnot. But yeah, I'd say I really latched on to the guy because he was really helpful. And I find our local Pets at Home is so strict. If you go in and you say you've been keeping fish for years and they just don't want to sell you an autosynclus or something, and they want to know. They even asked me, did I own my own property or did I rent, and did I have permission from my
What?
landlord to have fish in the house?
What?
I thought they were going to ask me for written permission from my landlord. I said my landlord's aware. I don't know that she is. She doesn't know how many tanks I've got. But it just makes me not ever want to go in there to buy anything. Luckily, I know one of the guys in there now, and he's very knowledgeable, and he keeps a lot of fish. I know him by name, so he doesn't query anything if I want to buy something. He doesn't get this like clipboard out and start saying, "What fish have you got at the moment? And what are your water parameters?" And it just bores me because I don't want to have to give my life story to get a couple of autosynclus. But some of the other pets at home, because we've got loads around here, they just let you buy what you like. So yeah, I'd say just get as many plants as you can. Try and make sure they're aquatic plants, because there's one shop near here that sells weird plants which they've just stuck underwater, and they're not aquatic, and they die every time you buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah, just and just like everyone says, just relax. Fish do die, unfortunately. I can go ages with not losing anything. I've lost 2 this week, which I'm really sad about. But one, Corey had a bit of a chunk out of him. I don't know what's happened there. And I lost a Hillstream loach. Again, I don't know what happened there either. But these things happen. Everyone else looks happy and healthy. But yeah, just enjoy it, I think. But you see so many people just don't stick with it, and you see these tanks that are for sale, and they say, oh, it's only been used a month. There's a full pot of food that comes with it, and your pink gravel and everything else. And just think, oh, some poor fish was put in there for a couple of weeks, it died, and now you're selling it on. And I know so many people that started a tank and then just didn't stick with the hobby. Weren't interested. The fish inevitably die. They get algae or something. So yeah, do your research, but also just ask people that know what they're talking about.
I think you raised some really good points there, to be honest, Marie. Like you were saying, algae. Some people are like, oh, and they bin the tank, or one fish dies, oh, and bin the tank. Like, just be patient. I think patience is key, but also, just being able to give it time and understand that not everything is in your control, and it's not the end of the world if your neon tetra decides to take the knock. But yeah, I'll let Arnold crack on, and then I've got a point actually to raise about the stigma behind. So I was saying the stigma behind better. I think everyone across the board has a general agreement about them not being too great, which I think I can agree. Obviously, I've had some good experiences, but I've had negative. It's the same with everyone else. But I'll get on to a topic about Maidenhead once Arnold tells us his advice. Arnold, obviously, you've got a literal fish room going on in behind you there. You're selling fish, you're breeding fish. You've been keeping fish for a long time now. What would your advice to a beginner who's new into the hobby be?
Yeah. So I'd be quite strict. That's how I was when I used to work in an aquarium shop. I used to say that leave your tank for at least a month before you even put any fish in. Whatever tank you buy, double the filtration, and also buy liquid bacteria so you can dose the tank to speed up the nitrogen cycle, but also it gives it a good standpoint for when you do add fish in after that 4 weeks. Add plenty of plants, plenty of decor, and then when it comes to fish, I would then say, like a group 6, you can get group 6, like community fish to start off with, and then obviously buy a test kit. NT Labs is probably the best liquid test kit there is out there on the market at the minute. I don't really rate API, and yeah, just do your research, because I know there's people out there who have got guppies with Malawis for some reason, and yeah, I don't see how they can get away with that. But yeah, do your research. Leave your tank for 4 weeks. But after you've had those 6 fish in there for a little while, if you then want to get any other fish, I suggest that you quarantine those fish before you put them into the main tank. Quarantining is the best way to stop any pathogens or anything, parasites going into your aquarium. So it means more tanks. More tanks. Come on, more tanks.
No.
Yeah, quarantine. Yeah, you've got to quarantine your fish. You have to quarantine any new fish, any new shrimp. Quarantine. Otherwise, I'll be getting the whip out. Now, that's how I've always been, and that's how I used to advise people when I was up at the aquarium shop. And we never had them come back and say like they've lost any fish or had any problems. So that's how I do it anyway. I got what? 1, 2. I got 4, 5 quarantine tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
those
like
ones, those ones there.
As Jeff's saying in the chat there, quarantine is a great thing if you can do it. If you can't do it, it's okay. But obviously, you're always at risk of more problems and chances. I bought some Cooley loaches, and I decided to. I noticed before I put them in the tank that there was some red markings on them. I think they've been kept in a gravel tank, and they're a scaleless fish. So I had to treat them in a bucket for a couple of days before I decided to put them in the main tank, just in case they were carrying anything like that. Obviously, it was temporary as well, the bucket. I don't like the idea of keeping fish in the bucket with an air stone unless I'm separating them from the tank and individually treating them. So that was like a one-off thing where I like chucked them in a bucket. By the way, trying to catch them fish out of a bucket. Catching Cooley loaches is difficult in itself. But when you've got a square rectangular net in a round bucket trying to catch a fish that is like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just say I almost gave up with the hobby in that moment.
You need a square bucket.
But yeah, it was the one time that I did quarantine. But I'll shift on to before I do another question. Anyway, I'll talk about Maidenhead Aquatics real quick now. Some people I've had quite some comments recently of people where they've had bad experiences with their Maidenhead Aquatics. Now, I'm not sure if everyone is aware. Maidenhead Aquatics is a big company that originated with one store and then obviously got ownership of a lot of other stores, and it become its own like franchise where like someone could open up a store, but then they'll open up as a Maidenhead or be run by Maidenhead. But do you know that these stores are still individually owned by people? It's not everything is dictated or run by Maidenhead itself. So if you've had a negative experience, I don't think it's fair to throw them under the bracket that just because say Maidenhead down there is bad doesn't mean that one is, because like I think they've got the same mentality as it's a chain like Pets at Home, it's going to be the same experience. It isn't. Like visiting obviously Johnny's shop and the Liverpool shop and speaking to all the other shops as well. Some shops are like owned collaboratively, so there'll be one owner of like 3 shops in like a certain area of the UK, but for example, Maidenhead Preston, they're an individually run shop. They're not part of a garden centre, so they have no like guidelines or restrictions or rules that they have to follow. So they can open later, they can get certain suppliers or whatever quicker and easier. But then same again with like the likes of Johnny, he's under the guidelines of a garden centre, but then has to do things slightly different. I think it's a very good, like, in my opinion, like my experience now, I can openly say that I've had like really good experiences. Obviously, I've had the odd couple that have been bad, but then different owners, different staff over the years in different shops as well. I think they are like a good shop. I can't not recommend them. Well, I say shop, I mean like, you know, as an overall, I'd say it's very good. Um, I don't know about your guys' experiences with Maidenheads.
I've never been to one.
Oh yeah, because
Okay. Are they not up north?
there's a lot up here. I think there's Liverpool, Car Farm, Widnes, Preston, Blackpool. That's 5. There's 5 that's like reachable by me.
Wow.
I wouldn't need to if I open up my own shop.
we're still waiting, Arnold.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think I've got one in Norwich, which is about an hour's drive from where I am.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't drive, so you know, I have to rely on public transport.
Yep. I suffer that fate too, Arnold.
And that's the thing about pets at home. They will not let you take any fish home even if like say you live like 10 minutes away, but you have to catch the bus. They will not let you take any fish back
They do
on the bus.
if you've got a car. Yeah.
Yep.
The ones by mine do, but I think that's because I've always bluffed it and never realised.
Yeah, no, they get their little tablet out and they go like that, and then they press all these buttons. Then that either says you can have fish or you can't.
Computer says no.
Generally, it's amazing they sell anything at all.
Yeah, it's one of them. A lot of people get in. I can't slate it because it opens the door for a lot of new hobbyists because maybe they're scared of going to the local fish store, or maybe they just think it's easier to go in there because it's all the bright lights and all the logos and that, and like beginner tanks, and they're like, oh my god, I can get a tank that has this, rather than getting one tank and getting these separate. I get it. And like I still do it now as like a hobbyist, like 5 years in, that I'll buy a tank, that's a kit. But obviously I will do my upgrades. I will mutilate a fluval flex and cut the back out.
Let's just put it this way: pets at home. My pets at home. I've been in there and they've been serving this chap, and they've got fish out of the tank, and they've just literally dropped the net onto the floor, walked over it. Obviously served the customer, sent him away, and walked back over the net, and then put it in the sump. So I questioned them on that as well, and apparently they didn't realise that they left the net on the floor. Apparently it fell off somewhere. And I'm like, well, yeah.
One net for everything.
Yeah. So basically, I then said to the guy, I said, I have some fish out of this row. I've noticed you've got some neons which are ill on the same row. And they were like, yeah, but that's all right. They're all sectioned off. No, but they aren't sectioned off. It's a whole rack with a sump on the bottom. So they all run into each other.
Yeah.
He went, but we're treating them. And I'm like, but yeah, you're treating them, but have you turned the UV off? Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if we have. I'm thinking, well, if you're treating the tank, if you're treating that tank, you've got to turn off the UV, because otherwise you're just chucking money liquid down the drain on you.
Yep.
So I didn't buy any in the end, and then I went in and saw a better fish which was on its last legs. So I mentioned it to a member of staff, and went back like 2 hours later. It was still there, but it had died. I went in 2 days later and the same better was laying there.
No.
Like literally disintegrating.
That's horrible.
And I said to them, "Are you going to get that dead fish out?" They went, "Well, we haven't had no dead fish in the better section." I went, "But I told you 2 days ago that fish was dying. And you could have easily have put him to sleep, but instead you let him rot." And it literally stunk. And they said, "But we check them every half an hour." I went, "Don't give me that load of crap."
2 days.
Or
Yeah, 2 days is a long time for a fish to be marinating in a shop.
literally, I had to. I sent an email to the head person at Pets at Home to get it all sorted. So
I'm quite fortunate because I think my Pets at Home is quite like a new store, so it's quite well run, to be honest. And the last time I went there was a lad who doesn't know a lot about fish keeping, but like he's been in the hobby a decent time, but like he had very good intentions, and I was telling him about someone not telling me in there. It was like, yeah, they tell us not to do that, but I'm aware, so I would. So I was like, so it just depends who you handle them. But I seen that Johnny commented that he applied for sales assistant in Pets at Home, didn't get it, but now he's a manager of a Maidenhead. And I think they don't like, a lot of people were saying in the chat there, they don't really like fish keepers. I think they prefer people that are just retail minded, or because I get it, because they want people to be able to do a bit of everything. But if you're wanting people to be good at the jobs, hire the people who are good in the different sectors rather than trying to get a jack of all trades. It may be more expensive, it may be a bit more time consuming, but at least you're giving good service and you're not just killing animals. That's my opinion. We'll before we get political. Right, we've went through some good topics.
they made my blood boil.
Right, we'll get on to this, and then I've got one more before we go on to a Q&A. I mean, actually, no, I've got 2 more. If we power through this, we can get through the next 2, if that's all right, yeah?
I'm just going to let my cat out. He's screaming.
No worries. You're saying that whilst this cat is having an absolute gourmet meal. I'll show everyone on the chat real quick. Oh, well, she was eating. She's got camera shy now.
Hi, Mia.
Mia's back legs. There you go. For people who keep asking to see me, you've just got a glimmer. Arnold got a glimmer earlier.
Well, we ain't going into that.
No, we won't.
Just make a different channel for that one.
There's a story there.
Just make a new channel for that one, mate.
Tell us later.
No, because I didn't know that. When I loaded into the studio, I was editing the settings and that.
You should always look to see if there's people watching backstage.
Yeah.
Well, now I know. Now I know. You didn't see anything too bad. It was just me giving me a couple kisses.
It could have led to something else. Yep.
Anyways, fish only.
Fish.
Yeah.
Right. What would you say your favourite thing is about the hobby?
I
Just
hate
one
this
thing,
question.
everyone. One thing.
I hate it. I can't answer it. I don't know.
What comes to your head when you want to talk to someone, or you tell everyone about your hobby? What is the one thing that comes to your head? You don't.
I don't tell anyone.
You are online, Marie.
I know, but nobody I know is watching this. No offense. No, yeah, none of my football friends, none of my mum friends, none of my school friends, none of my horsey friends have any idea. They'd think, especially with the shrimp, they just think it's weird. I nearly swore then. They just think it's really strange. And I hate spiders, so I don't know why I've got all these insects in my house. I don't know. I really like the plants. if I had to choose between fish and plants, it might be plants.
Wow.
I wouldn't want a bare tank with just fish in. That doesn't do a lot for me. But then a tank of plants with nothing moving in there, that doesn't do anything for me either. So
It coincides.
I don't know.
Well, but you'd say that your favourite thing is the plant keeping side of the hobby.
No, probably not. At the moment, I'm really enjoying the whole YouTube community.
Yeah.
All the people that I've met in the last 2 months, maybe. I think I started watching your stream 2 months ago. And I didn't know anybody and nobody knew me. And now I just know loads of people. And I talk to you guys all day, every day. It's just weird. And I play a lot of bingo, which I never thought I'd do. Yeah, just that. I think just the people that I've met. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that, Salient.
Yeah, like what Salient said there. I think my enjoyment, and as Shane saying, like my enjoyment of the hobby is obviously I think the reason a lot of people get into fish keeping is for that relaxing side of things. Of it is an underwater world that you can sit there for an hour, not speak a word, not do nothing. Mia knows very true and well that when I go home, I sit there and I'll just stare into my tank for an hour, watch everything, see everything that's going on, check if everything's okay, if there's any issues, is the breeding behavior, has the plants grown, has something moved, are the fish eating what I put in the tank in the morning. You just sit there and it just takes you away from the world around. It just you're able to just get lost, and I think that's my enjoyment. But I think, as Salient said as well, now making videos and stuff like that too. I think a thing that really warms my heart is I think I spoke to Crabboy and befriended Stefan now, and he's moderating. He's in the Discord moderating too as well. He told me that through watching one of my lives, I was able to get influence him to get back into the hobby, and that for me is something that I really love. And it was hard to accept because of I guess when you're doing this you get a bit of imposter syndrome because you're like, who, me? But I really enjoy that side of the hobby anyway, being able to either teach people something new or get them into it.
Yeah, definitely.
Shane, Arnold, whoever wants to go first.
Go on, Shane.
So for me, it would be if I was going to be doing a breed, and actually having one successfully go the full way where the wrigglers are out and they're all healthy, and you don't get much of if any of a mortality rate. You've actually nailed it 100%, knowing you've put that time and that effort in to make sure everything's okay, getting that satisfaction, as you say before, on the shrimp side. It's you wake up in the morning, you go to the tank, and you just see all these little 21s just scooting around in the tank. So it gives you that feeling like you've accomplished something.
Yeah.
So to me, that's definitely number one.
Maintenance.
Oh, internet lag.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Welcome back.
Place.
Yeah. Musical chairs.
Just to answer to you quickly, Salient, Arnold, King's Aquarium and Antworld. We have Tanks and Fish, and I forgot your other channel's name, Koi.
Hearts Koi.
Yes, and Pure and Shrimple. If you haven't already, someone who's moderating, Gord, if you could please put the links to everyone's channels in the chat, that'd be great. Why have I got to get
on your channel?
Sorry?
I'm a mod on Jesse's channel.
Ah.
Yes. Yeah,
if you're a mod for Jesse's channel, I'm sure he knows who you are then, I hope.
Yeah.
Unless
he might not have made the connection.
Yeah.
Just that I'm always awake, so I can do
it. Arnold, then yourself.
I I'm gonna go. This might sound crazy, but maintenance.
That
You
does
do
sound
love
crazy.
your maintenance.
I
Yeah.
mean, you have got a Bible written for your maintenance, so I guess you've got to have some enjoyment.
I've just got a screw loose.
He just wakes
Main,
up in the morning, it's like King Tanks.
yeah, maintenance, breeding fish, and just after you've done that maintenance, you just look at the fish and they just seem a lot happier. And I
Yeah.
mean, like getting fish from your local pet store, they're in like tanks, tiny. They're like crying out to you, like, "Come on, take me home." And you take them home and you put them in them big tanks, and you just see their colours come out. They start breeding. They start interacting with each other. It's just it is nice. And then obviously meeting people on YouTube as well. But maintenance.
Wow.
People are gonna. Yeah, but the funny thing was, when I used to work up the aquarium shop, I used to do. So there are 4-foot racks, and they had 7 tanks in each bay. So I did 10 racks in one day, and then come home and then do my maintenance afterwards. Yeah, it's crazy.
I think
but
a
yeah.
lot of fish keepers dread maintenance.
Yeah.
I think there's some therapeutic side to it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, there
but
is.
obviously, when you've say you've been away for a week and you come back and you just see all that algae and you're like, oh, and then you clean it off and it comes back a couple of days later and you're like, oh, I've got to do it.
I know that feeling.
Just BBA is my worst nightmare. Honestly. Oh, thanks a lot as well. The Gord for dropping the Discord as well.
Get some crepensis.
Sorry?
Get some crepensis. They'll eat the BBA.
Oh, I'm sure my epistogrammer Hongsley would love to meet a become best mates with him. Minx wants to kill me because I'm using a cat tower as a desk.
Probably. So you got
just
a little question there from Salient. Wait, who's this lady that mods on my channel?
Me?
So I don't think he's managed to work out the connection.
No, he hasn't. I'm always on there.
Yeah.
He calls me Shrimple.
Shrimple.
Simple.
I'm on there several times.
There we go.
There you go. Hi, Jesse.
But no, definitely the maintenance side of things, and especially when my discus breed as well, just seeing the little babies swimming beside the parents and eating off their slime coat. Oh, yeah.
That's like a rewarding side that I haven't managed to experience as of yet, unfortunately.
Yeah,
All the time.
I actually haven't ever bred anything bar swordtails, which you just put them in water, and shrimps, and snails. Yeah, but again, it just isn't the same as if you get a breeding pair of cichlids or discus or beta fish. That's something else, I think.
I mean, I caught the my caras. I caught them laying the eggs and the male fertilizing them.
Wow.
I caught that on camera, and then I also caught the better breeding as well, the embrace, and then obviously the eggs coming out of the female, and then the male go and pick all the eggs up and put them into the bubble nest. Saw that happen. But the only thing I would say is this hobby can get a little out of control, and you can easily get burnt out quite easily. And I mean, I started off where I am now. I started off with 1 tank. Never in a million years would I have thought that I'd had 28 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to have more tanks. I don't think I'd ever have 28.
No.
It's alright, but it depends because I don't have a lot of social interaction outside of YouTube or anything. So I kind of this is what I do and this is what I love doing. So people don't like it, they jog on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too right. This is
Yeah.
what I mean. I think that's like something that I'll just take away the banner before we go on to that. I think that's something that is really good as well. Like since starting this like channel,
One sec,
I
guys,
used
I'm being
to.
called.
No worries. I used to just this hobby was something that I'd be telling my friends and family about, and they'd be like, "Oh, cool." That's it. They wouldn't like acknowledge it. They wouldn't really care. Didn't really have a clue. And then like I adopted my cousin into the hobby and got him a tank, and then like he's bred shrimp like nobody's business so easily. And I'm like, how are you doing this? Because you're not even doing anything. It's just boom. And like he started with 6 blue dreams and then ended up with like 600 or something in this tank. And I'm like, how are you doing this? You don't even know what you're doing. But he loves the hobby too. He's not into it as much as I am, but like it was good to share it with him. And then obviously I've got my girlfriend into it, although she's not best to please. Oh yeah.
What do you mean?
The sound. Are you happy with having a fish tank?
I'm getting used to it. Like I don't.
She doesn't realise about the upgrade yet, does she?
The upgrade. No, she was encouraging the upgrade, but I've opted for it's going to be a topic we'll talk about later. A small tank, like a 30 litre. It's going to be. I'll get onto it. I won't spoil it. But yeah, I'll get back onto that topic. Right. How and what do you feed your tanks?
So I have a schedule every other day. I so like if I do Monday, I will feed them pellets.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday, I would feed them flake, and Friday I will feed them frozen. And depending on like flakes aren't really that good for Oscars, so when all the other fish have flakes, they tend to have frozen lancefish. So I try and do that. And then obviously if there's a fry, like the better fry, they get fed twice a day. And the discus get fed every day. If they're young discus, they'll get fed twice a day, but if they're adults, they get fed once a day, just the 1 cube of frozen food. And yeah, that's basically my feeding regime, really. Well, apart from the pipefish, they get fed 4 times a day. So yeah, that's all. That's what I feed at the moment. And frozen food wise, I'd go. I always highly recommend that you try TMC frozen food. That is the best frozen food that I've ever tried. So
I know that you absolutely swear by TMC as well, so I definitely need to give them a check out. I keep saying this.
I mean, like you've got Artemia. I've got what 7 different types of Artemia.
Blimey.
I mean, I've got stuff with aloe vera. I've got stuff with added vitamins. I've got stuff with spirulina, garlic, just everything you want. It's all in there.
Right, yo. What do you feed your tanks, Marie? Then, with your shrimp, like what do you feed them?
Oh, it varies loads. I know I overfeed the shrimp tank maybe a little bit, but there's so many snails in there. There's never anything left over. I'm a bit guilty of wanting to bring them forward to film them, get photos. So yeah, put a bit of broccoli or cucumber in, get a bit of content. Mostly flakes. Just I don't feed expensive food. If anyone wants to send me some, they can. Better sinking catfish pellets, a lot of algae wafers, a lot of oak leaves, nettles, like free stuff. I've been sent some stuff from Glenn at GB Shrimp, which are jackfruit leaves and catappa leaf. Thank you very much. Someone else has sent me some shrimp food to try. I want to try some rapashi gel food. Haven't tried that yet. And just quite a lot of spinach. Just yeah, really varied. I enjoy feeding them, so I like to get a bit of enjoyment out of it. I like to make the shrimp work for it a little bit. But I've got in all my shrimp tanks, I've got nano fish, and that's something I was going to make a video on. That I'm not sure it's ideal. I've had the chili rasbora's got some bloodworms stuck in their mouth at one point, and I managed to get it free, but haven't wanted to put any bloodworms in that tank since. I'm not sure whether the nano fish do eat some of the shrimplets. So I think if you're serious about breeding, maybe you wouldn't have fish in there, but I like to enjoy those tanks. So yeah, a bit of everything going on.
Great stuff. I'll move on to Shane now.
Yep. So majority of my tank downstairs, because obviously the blue acaras and whatnot, you get a little bit of pellet, they get a little bit of bloodworm every now and again, just like a little treat. Obviously the algae wafer for the bristle noses, and the odd little bit of the cat food, like the actual pellet as well, just for the Corvidoras. So apart from that, not much. Again, I've still got to get down the line of looking at all these different foods. I want to try out the like the bug bite range and things like that as well, because I've heard good reviews on it.
It's
So,
it's a 50-50 one, bug bites. It depends what fish you got, but there is like specific ones that the bug bites range caters to. There is like a bottom feeders one, there is a general one, and all of it is obviously crushed up insect larvae, which is cool. In my old setup, the fish used to go crazy for it, and now they're kind of spoiled. But yeah, I think bug bites is cool.
Doesn't smell very nice.
No, they stink.
Yeah, I have got some. I don't use it loads.
Globally,
But well, yeah, I was about to get onto that. I'll talk about cloverleaf all day long. Yeah, so I do a good variety of different foods. It's gone out my head, but Maidenhead supply a certain type of food. There is like a pellet that's like this red pellet that is great. It's like a sinking pellet. It's like quite squishy too. There's their flake. I started using that over the aquarium because I was using aquarium for a long time and it done the job. But whatever this is, the fish go crazy for. I use occasionally, although I've been a little wary of it because I think a couple of people in the chat will back me up here. What is it called? The worm. Oh my god. Tubefax, yeah. A lot of people are a bit wary about Tubefax because it can have some bacterial problems or issues.
yeah.
So that is what has been kind of fed to this tank, and we have had a fungus issue. So maybe that might be to do with the Tubefax. Although it is freeze-dried Tubefax, I don't think that
I've
be an
had that
issue
problem with that as well.
with freeze-dried.
Yeah.
Wow, so maybe it is. Tubefax, I think it's one of them. It's good to be used like maybe once a week. But like if you overfeed it, it's in your fish's system all the time and it's not being like cleared out by like Daphnia or like other foods that make them poop. Overall you might have some issues. So it's one of them, unless you're trying to like maybe trigger breeding effect for Corridoras or fish that like love Tubefax, then it's one of them. But so I don't know. I can't be an advocate for it. I know my fish love it, but I know that I'm on the edge or on the fence with it. I also feed, obviously, the spirulina algae wafers. They're amazing. My plecos love them. I also have these bottom feeder like catfish pellets that the plecos eat as well. / the cories, coolie loaches, everything eats them. All the sinking pellets, all the fish will eat them, even the tetras. What else? I like to. I've got multi packs of frozen food, so I feed, and that's all like soaked in garlic as well. So that has like glassworm is really good if you're trying to beef up your fish and trigger breeding. Daphnia, bloodworm standard. I think everyone knows bloodworm, and obviously grown up minx is eaten. Grown up brine shrimp as well, although baby brine is amazing too. So yeah, I just feed like a general variety for like my tank because it's like quite a big community. So I'm trying to cater to every fish in the tank. So I just kind of do a general feed. So all fish are getting a bit of food a day, and I'll change that around throughout the week anyway. But I don't tend to keep anything live just for conveniency. Although sometimes every like in a blue moon, if I go to the fish shop and I see some live food, I might just grab some, and that'd be good for the tank. Yeah, I think that was a good little topic, and then we'll go on to this last topic anyway. So as I was saying to you earlier, I'm setting up a tank. So I was looking for a couple of suggestions, or maybe someone to like maybe point me in the right direction. I am considering one fish in the micro predator setup. It's going to be a 30 litre. And I was speaking to Sam in Maidenhead, Preston, and you'll get to see this in the shop tour tomorrow at 2 p.m. UK time. Basically, the he was showing me stickleback, like freshwater stickleback, tropical ones, and he was suggesting them as like an idea of like a micro predator setup. So I was considering them, but I was wondering if you have ever kept any micro predators like scarlet badders or maybe sparkling gourami or not honey gourami, sparkling gourami or licorice gourami or anything of that size that's like a micro predator. If anyone has any suggestions in the chat or anyone in the panel.
See, I personally haven't kept anything like that, so I would have to go and spend a few hours researching before I give a definitive answer.
I've got sparkling gourami, but I got one free in with my Corys, and then I bought another one. I don't think of them as being predators, though. But no, my friend's got a scarlet baddis. I know the licorice gourami are really endangered, and I listened to a podcast the other day. They were desperate to get people just to keep them, to get them going in the hobby. They like Blackwater, I think. Yeah, it was a really good podcast. I can't remember which one it was now, but
so it's definitely going to be 30 litres.
Yeah, so it's a definite 30 litre because the tank I'm looking at, it's basically got a lid on because of a certain individual that's roaming around in this household. She loves this tank and she has clawed the hell out of this cabinet that was brand new because she loves the fish, unfortunately. So yeah, it has to have a lid. Yeah, that's another thing I'll have to consider when eventually me and Mia get a place together. But yeah, licorice gourami, everyone's saying some good one. I've seen people saying sparkling.
Fish Shop Matters in chat.
I think stickleback you're talking about, yes. Oh, you're always lurking, aren't you, Matt? You're always lurking. Matt, I'm not sure if you remember Marie. Marie actually paid a visit to your shop.
He won't do. Yeah, Matt, you served me a few times in Maidenhead. I was going to say about Maidenhead. My local is Fish Shop Matt's Maidenhead in Taunton.
That's
very
crazy
good shop.
that your local is the Taunton shop. Because
yeah,
a lot of those fish
he won't remember me though. He serves hundreds of people a day.
Maybe he does though. Matt is quite a knowledgeable, memorable person. I'm sure he'd remember you.
It was a while ago, but yeah.
What
I have
Matt's
seen you
talking about? What Matt's talking about there is the Industromus paradoxus toothpick. Yeah. I know that. Always around working. I do remember you. See?
Nah, you don't. There's no way.
but yeah, I think it's the toothpick fish anyway. I think Aquarium Co-op done like a species profile or like included them in the list. I definitely want to give them a try because I think it'd be a really good video to set up like a micro predator like setup with these kind of fishing because they're not so common. Not many people are aware of them. Maybe a species specific tank would be nice with them, but maybe as well if Matt has any suggestions of tank mates that could go with them. Obviously, you can't have anything with large mouths because the toothpick is literally toothpick size. It will become a fish's toothpick. But they are, considering the size of them, they're tiny, but they can eat a brine shrimp, a fully
Yeah.
grown brine shrimp, double the size of it. So it's a funny one. I see Jack's been lurking in the chat and he spotted Matt.
There he is.
I thought you weren't in here, Jack.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I just had a quick look. Obviously, they're saying like pea puffers, scarlet baddies or tiger baddies.
Yeah, there's different types of badders.
Pygmy sunfish. Another one they're saying is the freshwater pipefish as well. They're ones that
Well, you've got
literally
Arnold, isn't it?
just literally
Right,
I've
just
got, well, they were sold to me as freshwater, but they're actually marine.
Mm,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
the
different.
pipefish is a cool
Better
one.
fish.
Better fish. Better fish. I know you want me to buy one of your betters, Arnold.
I was just saying. I was just literally saying.
You could do a boxing video, and he could do an unboxing video.
Yeah, I thought that's where you. Yeah, I thought that's where you were going at with the whole video sort of thing.
That would work.
Well, Mia does want a beta fish, but of course, I want to do this micro predator setup, but I will
Would
get
get another tank.
They are a pain to feed sometimes, so I will go species only until the super settled. Do you have any recommendations, like once they are settled, like tank mates wise? Would you say like Ottos or do you? I was going to say Pleco, but Pleco is too small for a 30 litre. Probably an Otto or the Harrow Otter Synclus Heraldite that I've got in my tank. I could maybe shift over. Although it's very happy in there and doing a good job cleaning because I see it pooping all the time. I used to breed a pistogramma in a 30 litre. I'd not recommend that. Otter Synclus are plecos.
Hi, Melvin.
Nice to see Melvin in here. Melvin is in the building.
Hi, Melbourne.
They are plecos. Then plecos aren't plecos. I'm so confused, Rebecca. I was going to visit Maidenhead, Taunton. Didn't get time. I definitely want to pay a visit to the shop, but I've got my Maidenheads to be visiting. All the ones up here. There's so many of them, but I'll definitely have to pay a visit down your
Let
way.
me know if you're going. I'll come
Yeah,
and meet you there.
Not Johnny coming in and plugging his pitbull plecos. Johnny, you know what? I do want a pitbull pleco. I will get one because I definitely think they are cool because I've seen them in Harry's tanks and he said that they're constantly outgoing and cleaning. So I'd love to get a pitbull pleco.
I want a Titanic Pleco.
Yeah, I think a Titanic pleco would be perfect with the toothpick fish.
It would end up like the Titanic.
Yeah, after eating all them fish. Pitbull plecos, jumbo, cool. The CT scan of them. Rebecca, you are very knowledgeable, aren't you?
Yeah.
Has Rebecca got I know Rebecca's got a YouTube channel account, but does Rebecca have an actual channel with content?
Yeah,
I need to.
that is literally that channel name.
I need to watch your content, Rebecca.
Yeah, she's not far from me.
Yeah, yeah. She posted a video 11 days ago on Let Go Biology.
Biology.
That's it. That one.
Well, I am going to have to go and check that out. Not check out because I'm still here. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out, Rebecca, for sure. There's so many people to keep up with. It's difficult because, as you were saying, Marie, it's nice to meet all these lovely faces, and then you're having to remember every single person's name, and then check all the videos, and then you've got your own videos, and eventually you just get lost in the rabbit hole, don't you, Arnold? I know
Yep.
you've definitely got lost in the rabbit hole. There's so many people to keep up with. Although
Yep.
no, you're very on top of it.
You did call me Mandy for a while.
That's because I was getting mixed up with Zen Ginger, because every
Yeah.
time you'd show up, Mandy'd show up, so then I was always getting you mixed up.
He's digging that hole, isn't he? He's digging that hole.
Oh, we've all done it.
No, I haven't.
Right, so we have so I think we've covered everything there. Obviously we've had a couple suggestions on tank mates there. I'll consider maybe a purple blacko, actually, because I need something to clean the tank with them toothpick fish. But I think yeah, we'll move on to finally the Q&A. Everyone in the chat, get your questions in, ask all of us if you have any questions about ourselves, the channels, anything what people are doing, whether you want to know about beta fish, whether you want to know about shrimp, whether you want to know about koi, or whether you want to know about a Scouse guy that decides to go visit a couple of shops. You are more than welcome to ask your questions.
Come on, chat.
God, chat, you know you want to.
You know you want.
Oh, can I just say that Glenn GB Shrimp said he's doing his beginners Caradina talk 7 p.m. on Monday. So 7 p.m. our time on Monday.
Big plug right there. Big plug.
Big
There
plug.
was a link was dropped in the chat, but yeah, I think Gord dropped it in. So that should be really good.
Yeah, for sure. I've popped into one of Glenn's lives with Keith before as well. That was a good little one. It was quite late at night as well, but I popped in and made sure to have a little convo with them. Let me just check my battery. I'm on 5%.
5%.
Yeah.
Plug it in.
But to be honest, I was on 10% maybe 20 minutes ago, so it's slowly going down, thankfully.
Okay. I'm plugged in.
I'm not on limited
There
time.
you go. Gord's on there, dropping Glenn's link there. If anyone wants
Well
to
done,
go,
Gord.
make sure you give him a subscribe so you don't miss that content out on Monday.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable.
What are you thinking about the upcoming Aqua Show? Will you be going?
That's the show in September.
Is it on a weekend?
Yeah.
Where is it?
I'm booking the week off.
Is that the one that's up in Coventry?
Oh, not far from where Debs live. I forgot where she lives now.
Debs is by me.
Is she?
Well, she said the other day on live. She's not close. She's not far from me.
I'd love to go to one of these shows though. To like maybe I don't know if anyone would want to come meet me, because I still find it weird. I'm a bit like
Gonna sign autographs.
I'm not there yet. That's what I mean. So like, it'd be weird if I showing up and people were like, "Oh my god!" It's then I'd be like a little freaked out because I'm not mentally there yet. I'm sure Matt. I'm sure Matt's had to deal with people in the shop, and he's been like, "Oh," because he's just been working. Then I think he's probably had that moment where it's clicked, and he's went,
That was
"Oh,
Birmingham."
Birmingham, yeah.
Birmingham. Oh, that isn't far then. I might go.
Rebecca thinks it's mostly marine. I think
Mostly marine. Is that true?
Well, if
Matt?
it's anything to do with like
So
aqua shallow
maybe-
that like America have, then that is predominantly marine.
Just, if it leans more towards tropical, I mean, it depends. If loads of people are going to be there, and it's going to be good to get to finally meet up with everyone and like socialize and stuff like that. That'd be cool as well.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, anything like that. I think the UK is massively lacking these kind of events like the aqua shellers and stuff like that. I think that's something that, you know, as my channel grows anyway, I'd love to be an advocate to try and get more of these things going on, because I do know that there's something with Finest Aquatics, which is one of the biggest shops up here in the northwest, that they have something every year. Well, they upgraded the shop and done Finest Fest, and then they repeated it again. And 2 times they've had George Farmer there, and they've had the Geordie Scaper, and they've had a couple other big names in their shop. So they're one of the shops that are like pushing for them kind of events, but nothing like in an expo or anything like that showing up around here.
Really
I'd love for something.
very small audiences get to sit in on those escapes.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to one of those.
I got to watch George do a live aquascaping thing, and it was cool, but his escape was kind of restricted because it was an audience input one, so it looked very odd. So it wasn't like a George Farmer-esque aquascape, although it did turn out
right.
good. But I think the shop ended up having to have a move around, and we didn't get to see it fully grow out after like a couple of months. I think it was there for a month before it got torn down, unfortunately.
They often don't fill up with water either on the day, so
No,
you don't
they
really get
don't.
to see what it looks like.
Exactly, yeah.
Blocked over plan.
Adam, will you be going to Preston fish auction next week?
Ooh.
If it's on a weekend, unfortunately not. The issue is I work retail, so weekends to me are non-existent. Unless I book a week off, that's the only time I'm able to get any days off weekends, unfortunately. So that's why I was saying if quite a lot of us are all going to the one that Matt was just saying there, I would very much love to visit and get to meet everyone.
Yeah.
That's a long way away from me, that is.
It's quite a journey for myself, to be fair. It's not
Yeah.
super far away, but here's the thing: I spend 1.5 hour journeys going to Preston and back, and Blackpool and back. And you want to know what's funny? I went on holiday to Amsterdam, and that was only an hour away. And compared to my fish journeys, it felt like 10 minutes. Because I don't have a car and I travel everywhere. I still get about. I travel 3 hours, no stops, to Wigan for the catfish event. Wow. Got some dedicated fish keepers in here.
Apparently, it's on a Tuesday.
How weird.
Which the event?
The Preston.
The auction.
When's the one in Birmingham?
That'd be a weekend, surely.
Yeah, the week that would be a weekend one. That would
2 days, 3 days.
If it was a 3-day one, and I could maybe do the Friday.
I know you have to buy tickets. I know that.
Yeah, £12.50, I think, from what I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Well, hopefully I will see and have my driving license at least by the time I'm in the UK. Oh yeah, because you're not far off visiting the UK again, Jack. So it'll be nice to see your face again. I feel bad because when I got to visit Jack, I wanted to spend a lot more time with him, but as I said, it was a holiday. We were very restricted at the time. The train took a while. We got there, and then by the time we got there, obviously my girlfriend and Harry's girlfriend was in Amsterdam, and it'd been 4 hours, and we were only in Jack's for maybe an hour and a half, and then we had to go. And I spent most of that time with him to filming the video. So I only had maybe a 10-20 minute talk, if that, and it wasn't even long before, I had to go. So it was unfortunate. It is so different in the US, though. People flew and drove from hours away. That the US, when it comes to these expos and events and meet and greets and that, because I know, Matt, you went with MD to do Aquashella and a couple other things, and people are very big time over in the US when it comes to the fish keeping events and stuff like that. I think I'd love for more stuff in the UK to happen. It's just one of them things. I think as a collective, as the fish keeping community, we can only try and push for to be happening a bit more often, because I think it's getting a lot bigger in the UK. It's just slow burning, whereas in the US, it's been a thing that's been, going on for quite a while. And there's a lot more money in the US too, isn't there? Haha,
Yeah.
I'm a pro driver. Fish up, Matt. Different cultures, I think.
Yeah, they think nothing of driving for hours because everything's hours away over there.
Yeah, that's what
It's just natural.
My
Natural
friend
for them.
EV, he drives hours to go to work, and that it's just normal. So Adam 7.
Yeah.
Do fish hobbyists in the UK have fish convention? We do. That's what Fish Up Matt's talking about. Sorry.
Not very often.
Melvin, yeah. That's what I mean. I get so locked into reading the chat that I don't know who I'm talking to sometimes.
Yeah. And it is on Saturday, the 21st of September, and Sunday, the 22nd. from 10 a.m. till 5:30. He's booking it.
Yeah.
I'd love to book it. No, I was telling her to bring me charger
Oh.
because I was being too relaxed about the percentage.
Yeah. So on the Sunday, it's only open until 4. But if there's anything like the koi shows, Sunday's really that you want to go, because if they've got anything for sale, they tend to
Be cheaper.
drop the price because they don't want to take it home.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to a fish auction myself personally, just to experience the whole event.
Yep.
I'm not sure if any of you have been to any fish auctions.
No.
Nope.
I know that Graham and Andrew and Mal has been to a fish auction.
Yeah,
I think we're going to do together.
Not long ago.
So I definitely would love to go to one round here because there is the Northwest Cichlid Society or group, and I think they do have auctions going on. But there isn't a whole lot when it's in terms of events and stuff like that happening. I think me, Adam, and Harry should go to. I think. Well, I'm going up to Blackpool soon, so I think we need to go and pay a visit to one of the local things up Blackpool ways. JT, when I lived in Amsterdam, my aunt only lived 45 minutes. It took 2 weeks planning to meet up when I lived in Canada anyway. Damn.
Yeah.
Vlog Cichlid Society, I know, is somewhat a scientist. Oh, that's really cool. Right, yo. Well, we have a celeb in the chat. We do indeed. Me, no, I'm kidding. Nah, the celebrity is Arnold. Everyone knows Arnold.
Hey, Arnold.
Hey, Arnold.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Look. Here we go. Go on then, say it. One of you say it. Go on, say it then.
What, Mr. Bill, eh?
No?
Just hey, Arnold.
Yeah, well, there's another bit after that, isn't there?
Oh, Mandy's not here.
Move it, football head.
Well, whilst we're all live anyway, I
Blue
can
eye.
see that fungus real good on that tetra. Whoa.
Try and film it.
I'll show it now actually. Whilst you're here, Matt, I'll ask you a question. Because Marie was discussing this with me last night. So a question I have for you is, I know you are a very, very busy man, but in the future, when you're not editing a video late at night, would you be willing to do a live with myself as like a little interview Q&A thing?
No pressure.
No pressure.
Think it over.
I'd love to also do a real life collaboration at some point in the future, but obviously you are a very busy man. But if it'd be easier to do like a little live interview some point in the future, that'd be cool.
He charges a lot.
I charge a lot. Oh no. I'm about to get charged 100k for 10 minutes.
You want some McDonald's?
Do not forget the McFlurry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that blurry top.
Right.
£1,000 an hour consultation.
Go.
You go fund me.
I haven't even made £1 off YouTube yet.
You've been sent some free stuff.
Oh, we've lost him.
Oh.
It's the electricity bill.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Power's about to go out as soon as I heard that he wants £1,000 consultation fee.
Everyone donate in the chat. Adam needs some fun.
I haven't even unlocked that yet, Arnold. I can't even
No.
get any donations. I'm just sat here off my own back, traveling here, there, everywhere like a madman.
I would say something else, but I'm going to keep quiet on that one.
No.
What is OnlyFans?
There you go.
There's Matt's answer.
Yep.
Hat off to you, good sir. You are a very humble man. I appreciate that. We'll have to
Humble
sort it out. I'll speak to you through Instagram. And I will have to do a lot of planning. But I do appreciate that a lot, Matt.
I reckon Adam does have an OnlyFans account. He just doesn't let on.
It's called OnlyFins Arnold.
OnlyFans. Yeah.
And
Very
it's where I do live streams of my fish
before live.
Before
In that bed.
live.
I know where he's going.
Have you been getting? I've seen that you were doing some pond videos on your channel. Man. I'm guessing you've just been getting boiled outside. The weather has been great up here. It's just been raining. I don't know about everyone else in here.
Yeah, it's definitely fun building ponds outside. I'm technically on pond 4 down here.
I'd love to set up a pond. My parents wouldn't. Right, here's the fungal problem. Oh, it's because it's mirrored now. Hang on.
Yeah.
There you go. Right, I can follow the fish properly now. Yeah. So this is
Hi,
the
Magnus.
culture.
Magnus.
Magnus?
Nice to see
Yep.
Magnus.
Green Machine Sweden.
Oh,
Yep.
hi, Magnus.
Great to see you in here.
I must admit that was quite funny that Adam just brushed away that sly comment that
Yeah.
typical Scouser.
What slide
Arnold.
comments?
I think that just went.
Yeah.
Which, the OnlyFans.
Yeah, the only for
Yeah,
your pre-live
Ritual.
ritual.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, Arnold. That was an exclusive for you.
Right.
Like I received the £10 earlier, so I thought
I'll send you another. I'll send you another 20 quid.
PG, everyone, PG.
At the moment.
Well, technically, it is past the old
It
9
is.
PM watershed.
Yeah. Carry you on.
You know, lol, Adam. Okay, Rebecca.
Carry on fish keeping.
If you know, you know.
Right, so
You know.
has anyone got any more questions? I'll say that we should go up to the 2-hour 30 mark if we get any more good questions for everyone to answer, and then I think we'll end it there as we've been going for quite some time. I don't know if people are getting tired, if you've got work or bedtime, whatever. So I don't want to be holding you all hostage.
Oh, Harry. Harry's in chat.
Harry's
Harry.
finally made it. Great to see.
Finally made it, just as you were talking about rapping. He's probably been sat there in the lurking. He's like, I'm going to wait until he says he's going to finish, and then I'll say hi.
I think he's not long got back from work. That's why we've been going that long.
Yeah.
Bedtime for me. Jack, you said bedtime earlier and then you come back.
Yeah.
Ban him. Now you all know my name.
Yeah.
Everyone knows you're called Harry anyway.
He switched channels.
As long as you don't get a washing machine knocking at your door, you're fine.
Well, hot point.
Oh, because Harry sent me a video zooming at a hot point truck driving past his window the other day. I was like, he's found you.
You could just see that we could just put like a washing machine and then Adam's face and it's going round and round and round and round and round.
What, like the Pedro?
Pedro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the little raccoon, but it's me.
It's everywhere.
Any more
Uh,
questions, anyone? We're just talking waffle at this point. You can tell we're getting tired.
well, Shane's never tired because he's like one of those night owls.
To be honest, I'm a night owl. I say I'm going to bed, and then I'll just start running around doing stuff.
Yeah, same.
I'm always editing my videos late at night and always thinking of ideas late at night. I can never function properly in the day. I'm just kind of
That's how it always happens.
getting by.
You
It's
do
so
all your stuff during the daytime, and you don't even think of editing. And then you sit down just watching a couple of videos, and you're like, there's an idea I've just literally just had. So then you're straight on the editing program. Before you know it, it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Unfortunately for me, it's like take my tablets, go to bed.
Yep.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Damn,
I don't function the next morning.
it's that's what I mean. I'm very like it's editing's one of them things that I'll leave it. I'll get the video all sorted, and then I'll probably edit it and have it like I've got back into a decent routine of trying to get it done earlier, which is good. Although I got the shop tour edited yesterday, the video's out tomorrow, so that isn't too bad. But I was speaking to Arnold maybe a month ago, and remember the absolute manicness that I had saying, I don't know what video is going to come out now. I don't know how to not make videos, but at the time I was like, I don't know what to make. I need to get a video out by tomorrow. I mean, I'll give you an example. I finished work at 5 one day and I got home and I needed to edit a video. It was a shop tour. So shop tours aren't that bad. They edit themselves. You just put music on and it's fine. But I edited the video. I done voiceover and everything because the recent shop tours I've been doing, I've been speaking over them in person and having like a tour around and having the person tour me about, which is a good approach. And I think them videos I enjoy more. But I was doing a voiceover afterwards. So I got back, done a voiceover afterwards. I was doing the music and all that. And it was absolutely crazy. I'd done it all within 6 o'clock. And then I got my clothes on and got a taxi. Wait, no, sorry. I got home, sorry, finished at 5, got home at 6. Had my tea already in the microwave as soon as I walked through the door. Went upstairs, started editing, microwave done, ate my food, had it edited, and it was an hour video uploaded. Not an hour video, it was a long video, and then I was out the door by 7:10 on a night out. So yeah, no, I haven't done that again since, but that is the absolute craziness of the extents that I'd go to. So I haven't gone back to that craziness. I've got a bit more schedule now, so I don't recommend to anyone. Don't leave it last minute. But people with ADHD tend to hyper procrastinate and don't get things done last minute. You need the sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the best. Well, I'm the best customer of the shop. Johnny, you're the best customer of the shop. No, you're not. Harry is. Harry pays your wages. I'll take it, Johnny. Actually, no, I'll take that back. Johnny buys all the guppies, so he is their best customer.
Night FM.
What do you think the
Yeah, mate.
UK's aquatics industry needs to grow and prosper and survive? With that, you know what? That is a question I've been like. That is a very good question, Matt. That's a question I'd be liking to ask you or someone to ask you. But what I think it needs a lot more normalization and a lot less. I know that you spoke about it on your Instagram a little bit in post. There is a lot of gatekeeping in this hobby. There is a lot of people that aren't so welcoming to beginners. There is a lot of people that are very critical online, and I think there needs to be a lot more acceptancy in embracing new people in and being able to pass on knowledge. That's what my goal is with my channel anyway. I want to pass. I've only been the hobby not even 6 years, but I want to be passing my knowledge on to people, and then creating a platform for people to be able to spread their knowledge to people. But I think for it to survive, I think there is a lot of I think YouTube is allowing it to be, but I think a lot of the shops need to accept YouTubers more, maybe. They need to allow influencers to come in and do a lot more collaborations, because that way, if there is a younger audience or an audience that isn't known to these shops, it can create a bridge. I think that's very good. I think that's one thing that, like, watching your content and MDs, him coming over to your shop and you allowing him to do that was something that was massive for me as a hobbyist, to get into it more and learn a lot more things. So I think that's like another thing that would be good, if there was this bridge built rather than being cut off and people being standoffish from like allowing people to come in. I think, as we were discussing earlier, these big events like there's Aquashella in the US, I think there needs to be something of that scale, not that big, but something like that, where there's a fish Comic Con, which is basically Aquashella, to happen in the UK, because there just isn't enough. I think there may be smaller ones, a lot of small ones, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of these auctions, there's a lot of these fish clubs, but a lot of it is closed off. I don't see an open doorway to a lot of these things, to the average fish keeper anyway. Like, for me to learn about this, it's been word of mouth through Arnold and a couple other people, and if it weren't for the fact that I was making content, I probably wouldn't have known that there's an event going on down in Birmingham. So I think there needs to be a lot more of these things that invite new people to come in, invite the advanced fish keeper, but invite these new people. So when they come in, maybe they can get like a lecture where they'll maybe learn to set up a beginner tank there and then in like one of these events, something like that. Bring these people in, teach them more. Jack was telling me that in Amsterdam, the quality of fish keeping is mad. Their first tank is like aquascape planted aquarium. Here, you sold a couple fake plants and a SpongeBob pineapple, and you're good to go. There's nothing wrong with that, but like the standard of fish keeping, I think if there's nothing wrong with having fake stuff in tanks, there's nothing wrong with having an aquascape tank. I think embrace both. Don't like it sounded like I was down talking people for having the fake stuff. You can have it as long as your fish are healthy and it's a good environment. But I think allow both. There's room for both, and I'm going on a tangent here. There's so much that could happen and could be done. Oh my God, Minx is right here, just sniffing the light.
Oh,
She doesn't like this. She's gone away. She's moving on.
Boom, 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 boom,
You want to know
boom,
why
boom,
she's
boom.
there? She's looking at the fish and she's wondering, why can't I pop up there right now? Why are you climbing on top of the litter box?
He's
Yeah,
gonna.
right.
She's never done that.
Just like Matt was saying, to prosper and survive. When you go to like these different stores and things like that, even when they are franchises or wherever you go, even if the shop's not too busy, if someone who is like a newbie was to come up and just try and ask simple questions, some of them can be a little bit skeptic on whether you're actually new to the hobby and you're actually asking general questions, or they can kind of give you that reply of, well, I'll tell you this, but I'm just going to tell you this. It's not actual facts for like a beginner help. And when I was first starting out, I've had that scenario where I've been talking to someone. Obviously, like I said, I've always done my research. So I've gone in there with an idea. So when I've asked a question, maybe I've done too much research. So when I asked them and then told them that I'm a beginner, they're like, well, you're not really just asking a beginner's question. But it's one of them things, they need to having that connection more. But that comes down to, as you know, with retail, that comes down to your customer rapport. If you can make that rapport with the customer, then that customer's going to come back more and more, which then in turn increases your net profit. Yeah. So just giving that someone that 5-10 minutes that they're requiring just to have that little quick chat about something that they want to do can also set you up for not only a 6-month, 1-year customer, but potentially a 5, 10, even 15-year customer, because the information you've always given them has always been on point. So they know for a fact they can always come to you for the correct information and the help when they need it.
So
I completely agree with you, Shane. That was like a really good point. I think like with fish keeping, it takes like a while. I think it took me a while anyway to like get integrated into the community before I'd like only since I started making content was I able to speak to more people, get more doors would open, and I'd receive more knowledge and stuff like that. I think like it felt like when you're playing a game and everything was just locked and like you weren't able to reach out or grasp these things. I think a lot more things need to be available to people. I think it needs to be more welcoming. It feels like if you haven't got any knowledge, you're kind of automatically looked down upon in some way. I think for new people anyway. We all got to start somewhere. We all started with no knowledge. A lot of
Yeah,
people started with a
exactly.
goldfish in a bowl. A lot of
Hmm.
people started with like the most unideal or overcrowded tank. It or some people like obviously some people have got different experiences. Myself, I educated through like watching videos online and absorbing all the information and then setting up my tank and getting some advice from the people at the pets at home and the local fish shops. But allow the doors to be open and don't set people up for failure. I think the issue with I know I'm getting a bit broader now than the UK, but I think the issue with the aquatic industry is a lot of people are set up to fail on purpose. I think the way these tanks are made, these little tiny tanks for a beta fish, or obviously some people will argue that they can go in small or whatever, but I'm not getting into that. What I'm saying is just like these tanks are set up to not be good, the filter will die, you've got to upgrade or whatever. Allow people to be able to get the first tank and be okay with that and let it run its course or whatever. Like, don't market it in this way that it's so like, tacky or whatever. Like, the doors are open for all. Allow everyone to have an equal playing field, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I'm not
Mandy's in the room. Watch out, Arnold.
yeah,
I see Mandy's in here.
Hey,
watch
Arnold.
out.
The real Mandy. The real
Real
Mandy.
Mandy.
The real
Not-
Mandy's in
not
there
Marie.
now, Adam.
Not a fake Mandy.
Fake Mandy. This I'm just watching the behaviour of this tetra with the fungus, by the way. It's glass surfing. Which it wasn't doing before.
Is it just one?
It's just the one, the worst one.
You can't take it out, can you? You've got nowhere to put it.
No, the cat will eat it. Yeah.
You take it home?
No. It wouldn't be fair. I think it's fine. It's not just the one with fungus, there's a couple with, so I've got to treat the whole tank because if a couple have got it, I
Yeah.
assume sooner rather than later, maybe the pencil fish or the Nanacara might get it. I love how everyone's talking about chicken nuggets now. Fish keeping ginger, I think it's just the marketing, a bit like Mackey's. I don't know if I missed something. We all went on a good little tangent there. But yeah, if I were to get back to your point anyway, Matt, about what I think the UK could do better, as a whole, I think just there's a lot of local fish stores and they're all trying to compete, and I think the issue is that these businesses are struggling. I think generally the whole UK is with setting up businesses and stuff like that at the moment.
Yeah, they're talking about pets at home. I was just saying we had a chat about that earlier, which they missed, unfortunately.
Yeah, pets at home.
Go back and watch it at the end.
Yeah, we did have a good pets at home chat. I think a lot of the LFSs are struggling. I remember when I first got in the hobby, there was a lot. I think now I've got to travel at least 40 to 40 minutes to an hour if not an hour and a half at some point to get to the local shops that I want to visit. There's the Maidenhead, but that's even quite far. And then there's just Pets at Home, which is accessible everywhere. But then that's the standard of fish keeping that I think a lot of people are kind of looking at. I think obviously that's a thing, an issue in itself, obviously in America too. So I think, you know, it's I think just education needs to be pushed across the board. I think like a general, obviously Pets at Home have been taught not been taught things. They've got a booklet that tells them the nitrogen cycle, but I think they need to lessen off on this whole standoffish, hold people at gunpoint and interrogate them and ask what their living situation is. That's mental, by the way, that you said that, Marie. Like the fact that people were asking where you live and if you own the building. That's a bit crazy. Um. And yeah, I think obviously Brexit didn't do any help with importing fish. I think that also messed up quite a lot of the importing of plants and stuff like that as well. I just think it like needs to be more normalized, I guess, and like integrated into hobbies more and like more accepted and not looked at this weird thing, like a weird niche thing. Then again, I enjoy it as my weird little niche thing. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, Brexit. Yes, Jack. Brexit.
Jack.
Oh, don't we love that? No. I've had. Oh, Johnny's speaking from his. He's speaking sensibly for once. I've had a lot of issues with superfish aquariums myself. They weren't transparent about the said issues with everything. I love the escapers. I see a few yous from Southwest. Anyone got any recommendations on aquatic shops? Devon, Cornwall.
I'm in Devon. Well, no, my favourite
Maidenhead,
one
Taunton.
would be Taunton. Go up
Yeah.
to Matt's. But we've got Ensley Garden Centre in Ivy Bridge on the way to Plymouth. A couple in Plymouth that I don't know very well. Yeah, there's Paynton, Torquay. My favourite one is in Newton Abbot. That's very small. There's no sort of aquatic galleries, which is what I'd really like to go and see. I know there's a good one in Norwich. Aquarium Gardens I'd like to go and visit. Just somewhere a bit more aquascape focused.
Yeah, I was
Something
speaking
like that.
to the Scoutscaper. He's been doing like aquascaping stuff for a while, and he's hoping to set up an aquascaping shop up here because there is nothing like really northwest. I think there's like further north, but apart from that, there isn't a whole lot available up here. I think that's another thing as well. Aquascaping shops are like a good thing, and I think that they need to be there for them advanced fish keepers. But I think a lot more shops need to embrace, which I am slowly starting to see that they're embracing the aquascaping side of things, because
Yeah,
it ends up stemming for us to end up traveling away from our local businesses or having to order online and stuff like that. I think like if it's more widely spread, I think that would be another good thing as well. And I've just seen that Matt's put this as well. That will only happen as well as if we as a community welcome and invite, which is why I love this new wave of videos and influencers.
Yep, it's definitely that.
100%.
You know, end of the day, like, you know, we all started out watching videos on YouTube. That's what drew us into going down the planted line.
Yeah.
So now we're just got basically the practice that we're putting in, whether it's 6 months into the hobby or 6 years into the hobby. If you look at it from, you could be in the hobby 2 months, but to someone that's just starting out, that's 2 months more than what they've done. So you're already 2 months ahead of them.
Yeah.
And then if you've got them videos that go back that 2 months, they can literally start day one with you. And then they can work their way through your content until they catch up.
That's
You know?
what I like. love so much about the YouTube scene is that it literally is the prime reason why I got into the hobby, and like why I've
Yep.
stayed into the hobby, because when there was one YouTuber that I was watching for a while, eventually, some people may not have the attention span, or they get fed up with one person. There's always another YouTuber creating content and coming up with their own original ideas or kind of stuff. And then you end up, learning other things from them, and the different sides of the hobby and stuff like that. Like I literally educated myself through YouTube, and I owe my hobby to YouTube really, which is why I only see it. It's fair for me to kind of pay that back to everyone else.
Yeah. I don't know what it means.
Sorry, that wasn't a
Pretty
mic drop.
much most of us have all been there.
That wasn't a mic drop moment. That was just me putting the frozen food back.
Don't lie, that was a mic drop.
Might visit. I think Matt suggested the place by Devon. Just scrolling up.
Matt was saying he's at the aquatic store on Saturday.
Oh, could be a trip.
Yeah, that's a thing. I'm just gonna show you this behavior because I think this fish may be deteriorating quickly. It's unfortunate. Right, let's flip the camera. Yeah, see, so it's starting to glass surf. I've put some food in there. The rest of them are eating it. This one just isn't, and it's repeating the same swim pattern against the glass, and it's part of the hobby, innit?
Not nice.
No. I've already done enough treatment to the tank as well. I can't add any more, so I'm probably what's best to do now anyway is turn the light off, reduce stress, and hope that this behaviour doesn't continue.
Yes.
But I think, like, on that note anyway, we've done like a very good live here. We've gone through a lot of topics. We've spoken about some really good things too. Some nice familiar faces, some unexpected faces, and yeah, I've really enjoyed this, guys. This has been like a lot better than anticipated too. Because obviously I've had quite the busy past few weeks, and I wanted to do a bit more preparation, and I felt bad that I didn't, but I did explain to you earlier. I've tried to get a bit of prep anyway. At least Marie corrected me on my thumbnail and made sure that there was an apostrophe in let after I don't know how many lives I've uploaded. Because I've just had Let's Talk Fish without the apostrophe for the whole time, but it's changed now.
Luckily, what you can do is you can just make that thumbnail and just go and put it in all your videos, so it never happened.
Yeah, I'll have to. That'll take a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you all anyway for joining in. We've had a really
Thanks,
good
Arthur.
live.
Thank you, mate.
I appreciate
Thanks,
everyone
Arnold.
giving me the
Thanks,
time
James.
to join the panel. We'll do another one of these again soon. I'll make sure that it won't be another month or two before the next panel. I appreciate everyone being here, and as Matt said, if we can make this community as warm and as welcoming and bring more people into the hobby, that's the goal. And these at the end of the day. So much love to everyone being in here. Take it easy. Everyone that's been in here, make sure to subscribe. New video coming out tomorrow. Fish shop tour of Maidenhead, Preston. If everyone else has got videos, please plug them now before the live ends.
No, I haven't got any videos coming out soon, but within the next week or later part of next week, there's probably going to be quite a few shorts and coming out. Just as little snippet teasers of the videos I'll be working on behind the scenes, ready for the next drop.
Join the AA tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm on that.
I'll make my brief appearance. Getting round to everyone's, but yeah, much love to everyone again. Appreciate everyone tuning in, and thanks for all watching. I'll be back again live next Tuesday. Video out tomorrow. Shorts daily. You know the score. Take it easy,
You know.
everyone. You know. You know.
You know.
You know.
You know. Merch coming soon. You know. Take it easy. Oh, Debs has just appeared. Oh, see you later, everyone.
Good day.
Take care.
Take care,
Bye.
everyone. See you later.